This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
Hi, this is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here we have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. One day from my birthday, and hoping that's going to be a good thing. I think I'm going to go to a baseball game and hang out and whatever. But what's up with you, James?
Not too much, man. Got the championship game up right now from the tournament and for the men's side, and I had never seen Zach Edey play before, and yeah. It's kind of unfair. It's kind of unfair. But, luckily UConn is still just a better team top to bottom, but he's a force. It's almost like, remember those all-star years from Roy Hibbert?
Yes.
It's kind of like that, where it's like, bro, if you were 2 inches shorter, you might not be a factor at all, but we got to deal with you. Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, UConn's up 5 right now, with almost or a little under 3 or 4 minutes left in the first half.
Cool, man. Hopefully UConn wins. They'll go back to back, and I will actually pick the champion correctly. So
that'd be nice. And also it reinforces, our hatred, me and Rich's hatred of the Big Ten. bro, they mentioned this at a little bit earlier, bro. Can you name the last national champion out the Big Ten?
The last national champion out the Big Ten.
You're going to be shocked.
The last national champion in men's
is
Michigan in 1989.
More recent.
Okay. There's one. How about, let's see, Michigan State?
Rich. Yes.
Year 2000?
Michigan State with Mateen Cleaves and yes. That was the last national champion out the Big Ten.
Damn. I mean, Michigan State, you got Michigan, who they came close.
Wisconsin was in the national championship game.
Yeah. Sam Decker and Frank Kaminsky. It pat Calipari up. Speaking of that, Calipari going to Arkansas.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
They haven't mattered since Nolan was there, since Nolan Richardson was there.
Shit, the only modern Arkansas player I can think of is Pat Beverly.
Wasn't what's your boy's name? Whatever, doesn't matter. It's been a minute. It's been a long time. A long time. I don't know why you would want to go. I don't know why you want to leave Kentucky voluntarily to stay in the conference. They're going to make your life miserable once a year.
Yeah, and they're going to spend some bread to try to stick it to you. So I don't know. Yeah, that's not. They must have gave them the world. It'd be you can lay it down here. But we got a few things to talk about tonight. We got J. Cole completely I don't even know what you call what he did this weekend.
It's a pump fake. A whole pump fake.
Bro. what else do we have? I got it written down on the thing here. We got, of course, AEW is releasing the footage between CM Punk and Jack Perry via the Young Bucks. So that's sure to be quite an interesting, I don't even know what you call that, segment, I say.
It's
turn of events.
I mean, people will be tuned in to watch that quarter hour.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah. And then the WrestleMania review. Day 1 and day 2, I think a tale of two shows for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But I just want to give a big shout out to the rest of the network. Trish and Sarah dropped 2 shows last week. One of them being their reaction to the CM Punk podcast. I think I kind of egged this on. So if you want to hear someone meticulously go through all the things that he kind of said in that interview and didn't say and omitted, and that's probably the show you want to check out. So definitely go ahead and give them a listen. But yeah, man.
So
I didn't know, did you get a chance to hear that yet?
So Brewhaven, yeah, great show, and it's like I didn't get to go through all of it, but they were cooking. They went through all of it with a fine tooth comb in a way that I wish I had done, but like they did it. They did it better than I ever could have done it. So shout out to them.
Yeah, man. So I guess we can begin. We'll win on WrestleMania. I mean, that's what y'all came here for. So,
yeah.
But I guess we got to talk about J. Cole. We got to start it there. All right. So J. Cole drops the Might Delete Later project, highly anticipated, actually, off those 2 mini documentaries. He had the Crocodile Tears song on him. It seems like he already had this in the works way before all the Kendrick stuff started. And I don't know.
It felt to me like he already had something set up to go, and then he decided to make the 7-minute drill and then like add that at the end of it. Am I wrong in feeling that way? Is that how it kind of went down?
That's my same, read on it or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like he's got other songs on there too, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is clearly like kind of a mixtape. It's not like it doesn't seem like a full scale like album.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Fall off still on the way.
But he's got the I'm Ready remix on there. The 7-minute drill song. I like the concept and all that, like where it's birthed from and all that. Oh, I thought the song was straight, but I thought it was like, kind of like some round one type stuff. Right. Just like
the Jake or the Kendrick thing was too.
Right. And it was like, oh, okay. But like he did come on there with kind of an energy, I would say, that was not like you are ready to go. Like it was like, all right, like if you just listen to it, how he comes on it, it's like, yeah, man, I guess I got to do this. Like, and I don't know. I don't know how he left the studio and like, I didn't think it was a bad song or anything.
Yeah, there was no energy that came off like, I hate this person, I dislike this person, or I'm even dismissing this person. It felt like it's another song.
Yeah. Like it just wasn't there to be like, yeah, man, he's sending like, some shots, letting him know, yo, I will sting you. Like, one of my favorite one of those is actually like the Nas freestyle on I think it's the Paid in Full beat, and it's affectionately called the H to the MO freestyle. He just basically goes through, the entire Rockefeller, and it's like, yeah, I want it. And then, that set up Takeover and Ether, going back and Super Ugly and all that stuff. But J. Cole, releases it. I would say to a mixed response. People liked it. Some people liked it. Some people thought it was weak. He basically calls Kendrick Lamar's discography into question. It's kind of his primary point. Basically saying, everybody's gassed this Butterfly joint, which I kind of agree with. I like it, but not like that.
Same. Like, it's my least favorite Kendrick album.
Way better. Go ahead, James.
It's my least favorite Kendrick album.
Yeah. I think if you listen to his new one, that one might be, I don't know. I think you heard the last one.
I listened to it through. I mean, how do I say this? Okay. his last was probably his worst one. I was more disappointed in To Pimp a Butterfly. Maybe that's a better way to say it. I was more disappointed to Pimp a Butterfly because I was like, this dude just gave me one of my favorite albums ever, and I want something similar, and it wasn't that, and not necessarily a bad thing, but like the thought or my read on Good Kid, Mad City was totally different than when I heard the Pimp a Butterfly. I was like, oh, he's talking about black on black crime now. Okay. All right, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. My bad. I thought something that wasn't there, but whatever. I thought there was a genius there that wasn't there. That's okay. That's fine. I disappointed myself.
But yeah, like, it basically goes out, and then like this morning I wake up and J. Cole has a Dreamville Fest going on. Pretty much gets his whole record label together. They all do stuff. They have special guests.
Was Ari there?
What's up?
Was Ari there?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, I might have to go check that out then. Go ahead.
I see this morning, I'm like, all right, I wake up, I get this 3-minute video or whatever that I'm seeing out or whatever. I'm checking my DMs, and friends of mine are sending me memes about J. Cole that I don't understand yet or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, so I watched this video, and he basically was like, yeah, this is the lamest shit I've ever done. I respect this guy. Who thinks this guy's a legend? This shit is not me. This is not how I want to move, and all this other stuff. And I'm just like watching this shit, like, and I'm seeing the look on his face while he's saying this, and I'm horrified. I'm like, what is everyone afraid of? Like, why is everyone scared to death of Kendrick Lamar? I don't get it. Like, I don't know if this is a case of fear or whatever. Like, I don't want to, come off like that. But I see the way he did this, and then how people immediately try to frame it like, oh, this is maturity. This is all this other stuff. I'm like, it is rap. I'm not asking you to pull up on and do a drive-by on the man. I'm not asking you to make up things to do, I'm not asking you to expose this man completely. Like, we know there's no genuine dislike there. Just rap, nigga. Like, that's it. Like, that's all you gotta do. And then, like, I'm seeing this, and I'm like, the facade is just like, for the last 3-4 years, J. Cole's been on this feature run talking about he's killing every rapper, and won't line up these MCs for me, and I'm blowing these people off these songs and stuff like that. Yep. And I'm like, hold on, what was this? Was this just for funds? Like it was like, oh, the exhibition was cool, but when it was time for the playoffs, you were like, it's time to lay it down. Like, what? Like this is like, I don't want to say like I don't respect this or whatever, because on one hand, a guy's being vulnerable like that, and he's telling his truth, like, and stuff like this. Like, all right, I can't get on him that hard, but like, just the hip hop fan in me, the rapper in me, and the just kind of the historian of the game I am sees that, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like this is a letdown. Like, and I feel like we've gotten so far away from, or I think the biggest thing that you see around rap music is almost like, what has happened to it? And then, they're bringing up all the awful artists of today and stuff like that. And I'm like, I see things like this, and I'm like, this is why we're stuck with them for most of the year until the big dogs come out. And then it's just like, I saw him basically just wave the white flag, no Moss, Roberto Duran style, and I was just blown that this guy that I know can probably do this if he wanted to is just like, all right. So I'm wondering, was a call made? Did he see something? Is there something behind the scenes that we don't know about where he was like, I'm going to bow out because this actually wasn't for me or whatever. This was actually for Drake, and I'm going to let Drake go do that. And it was a call, and Kendrick was like, hey, man, we, whatever. Kendrick's team reached out and was like, all right, man, we gotta, you just go out there, you said something publicly, you just square it away or whatever, because Punch responded to this or whatever. And it was like,
but I've seen some of the I've seen some of the Top Dog people kind of, some people be like, big ups to him for feeling, for not wanting to do this if he didn't want to do this. And I also see people be like, no quarter at the same time too. So like, they're even the people on Twitter from Top Dog are like mixed on the reaction to it to now. So I don't know. That is worth speculating about though, as far as the phone call being made, definitely. And communication and all that kind of stuff.
And it's like, yeah, man, like, is it like did Cole get the word? Be like, hey, man, I set this trap for him to react, not you. Mm-hmm. Like, so let him come get it. And rumors are that Drake is doing, he's working on something. So if it's gonna go down between Drake and Kendrick, I welcome it. I would have liked to see Cole and Kendrick do it more, but
I would too.
We apparently are not getting that, and it was like, I love battles. Like, I love the spirit of competition in rap. This is how it was birthed. Uphold this, someone, please. Stop being afraid of the 5'5" nigga from Compton, please. Yeah, so for me, when it comes to the rap beef thing, like I think I talked about this when Kendrick dropped the song with Future. Like, my opinion on all of this basically changed when like 50 Cent basically uses a promotional tool, right? Like, it was always a promotional tool, but the part was like, it was so like transparent that like, this is what he does for every release he has. He beefs with somebody brand new, and it's not, and like, the more it kept going, the less legitimate it was, where like you could believe it, because it went from Ja Rule, I hate Ja Rule, blah blah blah, and Murder Inc., all that, and then it turns to if you work with him, I have beef with you. Then it turned into like, me and Kanye have the same release date, so I'm gonna fake beef with him. It was like, all right, come on, man, like, you got beef with these people that are adjacent to Ja Rule, yet like you're working with the same producers like Scott Storch and Cool and Dre. I smell bullshit. I thought you didn't want to work with nobody to work with them. Oh, okay. So, that's the funniest thing. Like, like, yeah, man. Like, none of y'all rappers, but hey, if you put drums and keys together,
right? That's the thing that made me like first realize like this thing wasn't legitimate when it turned into, when I started looking at the production list and whatever, seeing Cool and Dre and Scott Storch. It's like, wait a second. I thought you didn't want to work with nobody that works with. No. Oh, okay, that's bullshit. Oh, Ja Rule. Oh, Scott Storch made clap back for Ja Rule? That's dissing you? Oh, okay. You still work with him? Oh, okay. Full of shit. So anyway, like,
somebody needs to ask him about that.
Maybe we're the only people that think that deep about it. They just like, whatever, beats is beats. So like, you just get a beat CD from somebody, you just pick. Who knows?
I remember that used to be his excuse. Like, he used to say, back then, he was like, G-Unit, we get blank CDs and we try not to be biased with the producers or whatever, because, Dr. Dre made it, you just gonna rap on it or whatever. But we want to give everybody opportunity. But you always saw the same people, right. So I didn't believe it. You'd be like, oh, Needles again,
right?
Nigga, like,
right.
Scott Storch again. Right. He got the lucky one here.
Yeah.
J.R. wrote him. Oh yeah, him too.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. J.R. wrote him. R.I.P. He's still alive, but R.I.P. Yeah, man. So the move to this one, like, my whole thing for beef is like, look, I don't care. I'm not looking for hip hop to restore the feeling for me in that way. For me, it's like, if it's there and there's a beef or whatever else, I'll listen to it and I will be entertained from it. I'm not going to turn it away and be like, y'all shouldn't be doing this. I don't care. But like, I'm not looking for any of the rappers to beef with anybody. When it happens, it happens. And if it entertained me, so be it. Like when Rick Ross was out here on Special Delivery saying that 50 Cent wearing middle rings on his finger looking like a monkey, that's fucking hilarious. I'm sorry. So like, whatever. Like, I'm with the funniness. I'm with the goofiness of and the awkwardness of all this stuff when it comes to it. But like I'm not actually like asking for it. I don't actually need it. It's just something that if it happens, so be it. I'll consume it. So for me, like with all this stuff and everybody like being kumbaya over the last decade and change, more or less since like YMCMB and like Khaled took over, I haven't cared. I haven't like wanted it, whatever. So like when this presented, so I was like, all right, man, if they want to do it, fine. But like, I'll listen to the records, but like none of the but like the Kendrick thing wasn't like something that was very cutting, and neither was the Cole thing. So it was like, all right, well, it was fun to hear, but like, I'm waiting for what's next. And then like to find out that Cole has basically called it off 2 days later is like, all right, well, if you don't want to do it, fine. I'm not disappointed in you, but I do know lots of people are disappointed in you.
Yes.
So like you ain't let me down, but all them people that saying you let Nas down, I mean, they got a point. They got a point.
It is like, bro, I think Cole's the best guy right now, right? Yeah. And it's like, well, maybe this just like he don't got the killer instinct. I hate
oh my god, you about to talk about Clutch Gene?
He ain't got the clutch gene to step in the ring. When it's time to dismantle.
He ain't got that dog in him. Oh my god.
He don't. He don't got the dog in him. Like, he wants imaginary like rap adversaries. Like he wants hypothetical rap adversaries.
So does
like,
Drake.
Well, I'm like, there's somebody that's waiting for you that wants to do it. Do it with them. They want imaginary adversaries. That's what they want. They want to write about being the nicest, but like never prove it. Like
I think maybe the game's gotten to the point where like you can't do the I'm nicer than you. I rap about how I'm nicer than you, and then people actually accept me like, damn, that was cold. I think don't you think we're at a point where like people want to see the nastiness and the messiness and the drama of find out about people's like personal lives? I think that's kind of what comes with this now at this point. That's kind of how it's been the last, 20
But I'm
years.
like, yeah, man, like you can, like there's that, but you can also hold a mirror up at somebody. Hey, these are missteps you made in your career.
Yeah,
these
sure.
are, where I see that I've done this better than you. This is where I see you're going to fall off at. This is how long it took you to get to wherever.
Right.
Like,
But Rich, once you do that, then somebody comes out here on a record and calls you a homosexual for 4 minutes, and then they say they murder you on a beef. That's what happened between Takeover and Ether. There is nothing verifiably true that Nas said in Ether other than Jay-Z is not attractive.
Yeah,
there's nothing. But he won in a landslide. Like that has to drive you
in the karate class. You Taboho.
You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, Taboho, that's true. Yeah. Like it so like it's just yeah, it has to there's no way to do this in a way that doesn't get nasty, like, or at least that's how I kind of feel from my perspective on it. And like, if you want to get into the the PI, the private investigators and the opposition research shit, like like your politicians running a campaign, then sure, but it's like,
I mean, they kind of are.
That's my point. That's what this game is now. It is like, do y'all actually want to get that nasty with each other?
You know what it really is like these are not man versus man. Like this is not that. This is corporation versus corporation. Damn near.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
And these guys are so like, it's not like they're 25 or whatever, so they're extra calculated.
Well, do you think that the part where like they're both corporations should mean they should not be afraid, because they're either way, regardless of how you get exposed, you are too big to fail and you will not have your career ended?
I don't think they look at it like that. I think they look at it like
they just don't want the embarrassment.
That like I came up so far building this whole thing up, I could lose this at any time. Like just paranoia.
I think we're past the days of like saying someone like that make good music lose a beef and they're done. Like I don't think no one's getting Ja Ruled ever again.
Yeah, I do think they're at a point in their career though. Like them each, in the game, is different. Guys are in it longer or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know we talked about Drake, and the music he's made after 2014 is not necessarily commercially as successful or whatever. It's just that he's been on top for so long. He just kind of stays the king, stay king, as they say.
It's superstar inertia.
Right.
Like, how do I say this? Look, I don't necessarily think Taylor Swift is making music as good as she has since like 2014 either. But she keeps selling out these stadiums.
Mm-hmm. So it's like they're trying to maintain this, and so they can still go at like 42 years old, 45 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think they think anything is like, all right, we're going to do it longer than the people that came before us did it. Yeah. So in order to do it, we can't just jump completely out the window yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time they do this, you're going to be like in their mid 40s.
But I don't think it. But I think maybe that's sort of thought. But like, if you make it that to that far, like no one's gonna be doing this with you. Like you've reached emeritus status. Like no one's trying to. Like nobody for real that anybody cares about is trying to throw shots at Jay-Z in some 4-minute diss record or some 3-minute diss record where he's just destroying.
Imagine someone dissing Jay-Z right now.
That's what, you know what I'm saying. Like imagine someone comes out here and is like, yeah, I want it with Nas right now. What? For what?
Like,
get the fuck out of here. If you don't get the hell out of here so we can get another King's Disease.
Yeah. But Cole definitely, that was something I did not expect. I thought this goes in the face of a lot of history. But
he had no problem saying that shit about Kanye.
Yeah, that one, he kept that one forever.
But then again, maybe it's because like Kanye's such a clown that is like, whatever, I don't respect that. He actually he legitimately respects Kendrick Lamar.
Right.
We've always known that.
He didn't say nothing about the girl he was rapping about.
Oh, No Name? Yeah. He told us he don't read though.
Yeah, he don't read, Help me read. All right, man. Fuck out of here. The internet's free, nigga. It's on your phone, nigga. Get an audio book, nigga.
Yeah, man. The sooner you realize that even the smart rappers ain't reading, you're like, okay, never mind, man. Never mind.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we will move forward off of that. AEW, in the midst of basically getting, drive-bys ran at them all week by WWE and their PR team and various arms of media, between the CM Punk interview and all the Triple H shots at Will Ospreay, the CM Punk shots at Will Ospreay, with the stuff Triple H is talking about. I want people that don't run from the grind. Essentially, they were seemingly turning WrestleMania week into shit on AEW time.
Yeah,
for promo.
Yep,
which was, I guess, a winning strategy, for them.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, what's the real downside to that?
Right.
You weaponize the media because actually the media is actually on your payroll. Right. And then
and also the media gets bigger clicks regardless of whatever is said one way or the other from the WWE wrestlers and from the AEW wrestlers, because the WWE is the more popular brand.
Right. Yeah. So in all this, after night one of WrestleMania, I had taken my ass to sleep. And then I roll over maybe about 2 a.m. My phone's going insane. Like I'm getting tagged in like everything, in Discord channels, multiples, Twitter. I'm getting DMs from people. I'm getting messages from people inside of wrestling, and it's like, hey man, this shit's real. What's happening? And I guess I should just probably tell you what's happening. The Young Bucks will be presenting the footage from All In for the first time. We found out.
What footage to be specific, Rich?
We don't know yet. But I'm just talking about the graphic, how they advertise it. But
That's true. That's true.
We get the story. It was like, yo, Tony Khan has made the call to release the CM Punk Jack Perry footage from Wembley Stadium. And I think this got people scrambling in a way. They had just come off of night one of WrestleMania, admittedly kind of a weak / bad card, right? You left that and you're like, oh. Especially
given the rep of night ones of WrestleMania since they moved to 2 nights.
Yeah. And, this whole week they've been talking about AEW. So everything, AEW, they should have took off. So they pressed the button in the middle of the night. It scooped the headlines or whatever. At least for that night, and up until WrestleMania was starting, all people could talk about was the tape.
Yep.
And this coming out. And the conversation kind of switched where it was like, everybody, for so long, it was this thing like, CM Punk destroyed Jack Perry. He whooped his ass. He folded him up, all this stuff, and then
he choked him out just a little bit.
Choked him out a little bit, and apparently, whatever CM Punk said in this, interview, people in AEW took that as this is a lie, and we are going to correct this. And this is like,
I didn't sign an NDA for anything I did wrong.
Yeah. So it was like, oh, you didn't sign an NDA, huh? And this thing has gone through levels of legal. I can assure you guys. So it's, they want to play that game. I don't think that game is going to be fruitful, worthwhile, and not even CM Punk himself. So they're doing this, and it's like, oh, and then the whispers start getting around like, yo, this thing might not be as damaging to Jack Perry as one initially thought. It may not be this whole thing where people immediately jump to, oh, we're gonna see where Tony feared for his life. I don't think that is the part they're releasing. So everything that's kind of that I've gathered seemingly is like, yeah, man, there's a way that it was perceived kind of and told by CM Punk. And then there's what really happened. So, yeah. And then there's a story that was out there by a makeup artist who used to actually work in AEW. I don't know if she still does. I believe her name is Stella K. And she deleted what she had written on Twitter. And I believe Dave Meltzer had mentioned something like she deleted this even though the story looked favorable to Perry. So, there's a lot to look out for here. Now, as far as the first of all, when you saw this, James, what was your reaction?
Okay, so I saw, because I was with you and Jeremy and Josh from Keepin It Strong Style. We watched night one of WrestleMania. So I went home and then I started just looking at Twitter to see people's also to see their co-disappointment with night one. So all of a sudden I see a thing about Nick and Matt going to show footage from All In. I was like, how was that? So then about, I don't know, maybe around 1 in the morning, 1:15 in the morning, because I'm a night owl, I see Brian Alvarez say that they're going to show the CM Punk Jack Perry footage, and it's not a bait and switch. They're actually going to show it. And I was like, hold on, let me make sure this is Alvarez's actual account at this point. And, people fuck around or whatever, but it ended up on my feed. And I saw that, I was like, Now I went to Meltzer's to make sure, and it said the same thing, this is not a bait and switch. They're going to air whatever happened. I was like, holy shit. That's crazy that they held off on this. They must be really pissed at whatever CM Punk said, and whatever is in there, he must have been lying his ass off for them to be so pissed to play this thing. And it's also they using that man for promo because Punk used them for promo.
Yeah. It's really just a receipt, kind of. And
yeah,
I saw this. And,
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, so my thought was clearly CM Punk looks unfavorable in this, and regardless of whatever it does for besides just to get the initial quarter hour bump for this, they are intent on ruining CM Punk as a babyface character or try to, at least in WWE. They've had enough. Punk comes off the way because he's so good as a performer. He comes off as a salt of the earth person that, like, it's easy to believe him if you want to, regardless of the facts, regardless of the inaccuracies he gives out.
Look,
he's very easy to believe because he comes off as a real person. But you have this mounting evidence that, like, he's a liar, and because he is. So it's like Punk came back or whatever else to WWE. He says all this home shit and everything, and like whatever happens in that video, like I'm sure it's damaging for CM Punk's like future as a babyface in WWE. So or at least that's what the attempt is. Will it actually work? Who knows? Because WWE fans hate or a lot of them hate AEW existing so much that they'll just ignore it anyway. Just move on. But like people that actually have what do you call it? A sense of morality as far as this sort of thing. This could actually hurt him. Like the whole part about like the workers' rights thing and saying like you damage the credibility, you damage the possibility of the first $1 million gate for this company. This could damage him for real. Like worse than that part, because like there was still the possible deniability that like Tony Khan may have just reassigned Colt Cabana just off the strength of you signing. You had nothing to do with it. They didn't believe it, but they could have been a situation where like the whole locker room just didn't believe that. This is about to be a video. We're going to see something.
Yeah, well, we're going to see something, and I think there's like another thing. It's like and this was kind of evidenced throughout the last week. All the shots that were taken at WWE or at AEW last week from WWE, the entire roster sat in solidarity and did not respond. Nobody got stupid on Twitter. Nobody was like using emojis. Everyone just kind of let that shit, kind of go.
Well, except for like the Edge promo.
Yeah, except for the
Edge and Dax promo was a Dax promo that wasn't on air.
Yeah, which he later came out and J. Cole be like, nah, man, that wasn't what y'all thought it was.
Yeah, right.
But the whole thing with this is like people have been quiet about things regarding Punk for the benefit of AEW, like because people were like, yo, there's been no reason to do this. It only gets ugly. It only makes us look bad, man. Now, do I agree with them releasing the tape like this and whatever? I'm like, all right, if you have something and you can use it to further something you're doing on TV, go for it. Like, I don't see the harm in this if it's like, yeah, man, there's something you thought you saw and this turns to an angle, because I feel like, I'm just using my wrestling mind. I don't have any inside knowledge on
this. Is the way to get Jack back in, because like I was scapegoated, right? This is what you think?
And like the Young Bucks, they've been doing this thing where they've been shouting them out in their entrances. Jack Perry's been shouting out the Young Bucks in promos and in matches in New Japan. So it's like, their whole thing with the EVPs, just how they brought out Okada or whatever. They're like, well, we've reviewed this evidence or whatever. And it looks like, Jack Perry did nothing wrong here and was just simply defending himself. And I didn't know, about Jack Perry, like this. We didn't know he was capable of this. So introducing the new enforcer of the Elite.
Oh my God, the new enforcer of the Elite. A nigga that weigh 180 pounds.
Yes. and he's showing him having a CM Punk. Oh my God, bro. You know how amazing that would be? Oh my God. Like, which I may or may not have pitched to someone that I know, but yeah, man, I if you're gonna do it like that, right? And it's like it's purely angle, the Bucks are taking the piss. I think that's the way. If you come out here and you do it like kind of with a like on its face, like a straight, like, yo, this is CM Punk, this who, and they play it straight, I think that's a mistake.
Yeah. I think it would be a mistake if they went out there kind of like, in the sense like how Vince came out like the night after the Montreal Screwjob and tried to do this interview of explaining his side. It's like, nah, that's
like we gonna expose this nigga.
Nah. Like, cause well, I mean, it will work for the rating, but like after that, like people will be like, oh, okay, like what does that mean for the show? in the promotion. Oh, bro!
Right.
Somebody from Purdue had a nasty putback dunk.
Sheamus Nova have Jack Perry carry Okada on his shoulders like Fale did for Devitt.
Wow.
Oh, walking out the Crimea River. Oh man, that would be kind of interesting. But yeah, this whole thing, you know, some people have said this was minor league, this is Bush League, a lot of people have said about this when the news of this broke, and in my opinion, the things that will quote unquote make AEW look minor league, what does that range from, James? You know, selling 81,000 tickets and then being told actually you didn't, you know, you basically have 5-star matches. Yeah, that's minor league, you know. Get on national television for 5 years and $30+ million a year. Oh, doesn't matter. Company's dying, whatever. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think they're going to be accepted for anything they do. So who gives a fuck, man? Like, I don't like what AEW has to be is counterculture, against the grain, against conventional wisdom. Because the second you try to be conventional wisdom, be like, oh, we just got to play it, you know, classy. At one time, Tony Khan once trademarked the phrase. It was like WYW. It was like, watch your wrestling. That was so short-sighted and naive. And you see how he switched this shit recently to AEW, we're the best wrestle. Like, You need something to fire up your audience. You can use this, whatever this is, because you already know your audience does not fuck with CM Punk. You can use this, get your revenge in one way, in a shoot sense, and then also forward your promotion, kind of.
Right.
I think this is a win, but depends what's on the tape. Also,
right.
I think I'm kind of underselling that.
Right, and this isn't something like I would necessarily do if I was Tony Khan, but I see the reason. What you laid out is why he makes sense. Why he would do it. Now, just to double back on your point about the people talking about like this is minor league or whatever else. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, and I said this to Rich over the weekend and a few other people. It don't matter how many fucking people get into a building for the biggest show of either promotion's year. Pro wrestling is minor fucking league. Perfect example. David Dennis, writer for ESPN. Yeah, you know. Yeah, the whole thing between me and you and him.
We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, but whatever. He won. He was on Around the Horn. He was one of the 4 squares. He won on Friday. And when it's time to, when he's talking about winning, he talked about how pro wrestling is back. WWE is back because The Rock is back and is firing on all cylinders, and watch nights 1 and 2 or whatever else. If you had saw the groans, the eye rolls, and the general dismissal and disgust from the 3 other panelists and Frank Isola, who was in there for Tony Reali, when he said that shit and when they went off air, bro, people still are on the wrestling's fake. Why are you watching that bullshit? It's minor league. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter that, you know, WrestleMania just sold what? How many tickets? Basically like 120,000 tickets plus for one weekend. It doesn't matter. The number 2 promotion sold 81,000 tickets last year. It don't fucking matter. Pro wrestling is low rent. It's not the height of sports. It's not the height of drama. It's not the height of comedy. It's not the height of nothing. It's fine. We watch crud. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person for enjoying the crud. We just like watching garbage. It's the same reason, like, look, when people say they watch reality television, do we say, oh my God, how can you watch that shit? We know it's crap. People watch the crap because it's crap.
Bro, I enjoy some fresh trash. Like, right. I watched Real World Las Vegas recently this year, James.
Me and Rich used to what day was it? Was it Thursdays or Wednesdays? Thursdays. Jersey Shore. Be fucking there to watch that nonsense. Catfish when it came out. First season, there for it. Watching that nonsense. It's okay. It's fine. People will tune in to watch Survivor and watch these fake survival shows. They're not gonna let nobody fucking die out there. You kidding me? It's fine. Watch what you watch, enjoy what you enjoy. Don't let nobody steal your joy. Don't feel like you need to defend it. They watch bullshit too, or consume something that's bullshit too. It's fine. So, like, when people talk about this minor league shit, I'm like, I'm sorry. Are you unaware of what pro wrestling is?
Amazing.
Yeah. So whatever. Like, you just continue on. We can move on with the discussions. Like, look, man, the minor league thing is pro wrestling's minor league. It just is what it is, right? Like, we have people fake die on these shows sometimes, and then come back.
Yeah. Shout out to Lord White, right?
Well, it's better than saying shout out to Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Never that. But it's It's gonna be interesting however they do it. I'm glad it's not like, hey, Tony Khan is up there on the tape. Like, nah, we don't need that. But he's pissed. Like, everything I'm hearing, like, he wanted to release this thing earlier, but he didn't. And it was like, well, they tried to be nice. They tried to take the high road with this. And they're like, all right, well, it's on. And then, like, once that announcement came out, I think you could see, like, various people from AEW retweeting the graphic, showing support in the comments, tweeting about having fun with it. Like, I saw Okada post that shit. I'm like,
are you serious? I missed this one.
Yes, Okada put it on his story or whatever.
Oh my god!
Like, yeah, man. Like, it's like, of course, you know, you fought with Okada friends, so. Yeah, man. But we should probably get to the WrestleMania review.
All right. I guess
start with night one.
I guess I gotta pull up the cage match for this, don't I? Huh?
Yeah. Pull it up for me.
All right. So this is Sunday's show. That's no good. Let's go to WrestleMania. I'm sorry, WWE events. Scroll. All right. Night one. We start with the WWE Women's World Title match. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. So Becky comes down to the ring. She has her video package more or less is more like an inset graphics thing of her book. It shows quotes from her book. She comes down to the ring with pages and words like adorned to her, I guess her gear that she's gonna rip off, and then she has words on her gear. I thought it was a cool touch. I think Josh made a point that, like, if she was wearing blue instead of black, it looked like she was wearing a Budweiser stickers on her gear. So Rhea comes out. They cut down to from the wide crowd shot or arena shot to somebody on the floor that we find out after like the first 5 seconds thing, like, wait, is that Rhea singing her own theme song? Like, oh no, that's a person that's wearing makeup that looks kind of like Rhea at different stages of her career. That's interesting. Rhea comes out.
I thought somebody was related or something.
Yeah, they make faces with each other. They're rocking out together. Rhea comes down to the ring, singing her own lyrics to her own theme song like a mark. And I don't mean it in a bad way because we both like Rhea, but it's like there's no way to explain other than she's singing her own lyrics like a mark. The only person that was able to get away singing their own lyrics that came off any bit cool was like Hogan in his prime singing Real American. That's about it. So match starts. I thought the match was pretty good. I don't think it ever really peaked high, but like I thought it was a quality match. Ultimately at the end, I thought that like Becky made a mistake. Rhea ended up hitting her with the riptide on the apron. I'm sorry, on the top turnbuckle, and then grabbed her again and really quickly and hit another one and finished her. I would have liked I would have liked for that match to have been more of a, like, she didn't get caught, more of a, like, she was finished, but that was the match. They kept the camera shot on Becky long, like, to show her like, the agony of defeat. So I don't know if this is necessarily over, but Rhea got the win, and that's now what, two horsewomen she's beaten already in 2 WrestleManias.
She's pinned all of them, but Yeah, like she's as far as like at WrestleMania. Yeah, I think I feel to me like they didn't have a ton to work with creatively going into this, and a lot of it seemed like they were left to their own devices to do like these kind of shoot angles and stuff like that, and there just wasn't a lot of the build, and there just wasn't a lot of meat on the bone. You know, there is some Becky fatigue or whatever from certain parts of the more insane fan base who would have preferred people like Liv Morgan be booked for this. I'm sorry, but when the real shows come, the real stars get booked.
Yeah. To wrestle the real matches.
Correct. The match itself, like I thought this was like a 3.5 at best, and it was just like it never like got to this level where the crowd like. I think there was a stark difference from night 1 and night 2 where it was like this match kind of embodies it. It's like, yeah, everything's just cool. Like it was like a feel out essentially. Mm-hmm. I thought they were going to try to come and have their best match possible. I don't think they did that. I don't think they got the time to do that. And it seemed like it needed to go 5 more minutes, but it didn't.
I think this match went longer than you think it did. Because I'm looking at the time. It went 17 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Like it went longer than the Io and Bayley match did the night after.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Bayley
I would have like 15.
I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, but I mean, Io Stardom. She only need 15 minutes to go have a great match.
Yeah, but yeah, this was surpassing another horsewoman. But I'm gonna need more out of Rhea Ripley. Like,
she's like they have her. They treat her like she's dominant, and then like they give her, monster in Australia, like they did with Nia. They're giving her horsewoman at these big shows. Like the real shit is like, all right, man. Like when are we gonna get Bianca versus Rhea at WrestleMania?
There is that.
That's the real thing that's left. Like, I mean, you can still do Charlotte versus Bianca at WrestleMania, but like outside of that, it's like, what is the next big thing for the women's division between the current stars?
This card, night 1, suffered because they decided to take one of their big stadium performers in Bianca Belair and stick her in a 6-woman tag. Like, this show suffered for that. Like, we'll talk about it, but and Rhea Ripley being the big stadium show performer, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's her. I know she had a match with Charlotte, but this show also missed Charlotte having a big performance because she shows up on WrestleMania and most SummerSlams or whatever. I need to see more
at this point now. Yeah,
I need to see more from Rhea. Like, and maybe Becky wasn't the right opponent for her stylistically. I don't know, but I think there's got to be more there.
Yeah, I think whatever draft or switch up they do with the rosters, I think it'll be beneficial to Rhea to have a new set of opponents.
How about they just have her fight Damage Control next?
That's what I was thinking. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, like we've seen Io and Rhea have great matches in NXT before. Like that, and Rhea is at her best when she's basing for smaller wrestlers so far. Like it's either her wrestling, either she's wrestling other strong women or she's basing for smaller wrestlers. And like
Becky not either one of those.
Becky did a lot of top rope stuff for Rhea to have to try to catch her or fall or whatever else. And like, that's not Becky's strong suit. Becky's more of a technical wrestler and kind of like in the Edge sense, in Christian sense, like knows where to change the different spots of the ring or whatever else to tell the story of her matches. And like Becky was we was joking over and over about how Becky kept going to the top rope so she can fall off the top rope because she don't jump. She had no lift. She just falls like a stone. Not to say that that's a bad thing because Becky's been like that ever since we ever seen her and she's had plenty of great matches. But this wasn't, she had to change up her game, some of her approach in this game for stuff to work with Rhea. And I thought this was a good match, but it wasn't by any means a great match.
Right.
Yeah.
What was on next?
Yeah. So next match after this, you get the double tag team title match with 6 tag teams. You get Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, Awesome Truth, Judgment Day, the double champs, DIY, New Day, and the New Catch Republic. And I thought this was a damn good match with tons of high spots in it. The thing that hurts the match is the winners. And the part where the winners did next to nothing in the match.
Yeah. my major problem with this was watching DIY come out there. They came out there dressed like child actor versions of 2009 Generation X, complete with the overlays. Shawn Michaels, or excuse me, Johnny Gargano was dressed like young and old Shawn Michaels at the same time.
What was the young part?
The young was like the vest, kind of, whatever I would say. And then, the old was the cowboy hat.
Right.
This nigga Tommaso Ciampa came out there with the double leg wraps underneath, like
underneath
Triple
the
H.
knee braces, or underneath the knee pads, yeah.
Yes. And I was like, you two niggas were at one time like two of the best wrestlers in the world. And now y'all doing tributes to these niggas like.
And you're damn sure at your peak was better than one of them at least. Yeah.
It's just like, bro, like stand up, nigga. Like, I don't. This was all part. We skipped one important part of this show, James. This entire weekend was dedicated to the preservation and the advancement of the Paul Levesque agenda.
Yeah,
and this was part of it.
Yeah. Like Triple H started the show. Triple H comes out first, and he said, does the "Are you ready" thing, and then he says, "Welcome to WrestleMania." And like the first thing that went off on me, on everybody that was with us, Keepin It Strong Style, 1H Radio together, was like, oh, this is Triple H like taking over, being able to scrub out the soundbite from Vince McMahon and for future perpetuity. Whereas like the "Welcome to WrestleMania," like that's gone now because Vince is persona non grata. He's been Benoit. You can't mention him or none of that. So like now what they have to do is they have to have Triple H come out here to do that voice so that they can use that in the future for the next 40 years or the next 6 months, depending on if he's a Cody or not.
Who's the next person that they got on the list for that?
Well, tomorrow or the next day was Stephanie, who also may be a Cody. So like eventually it's going. So like next year when it comes time for it, like maybe not next year, but like WrestleMania 42, they're gonna bring out The Rock to sing that shit because Rock ain't got these problems.
I saw that shit, but another thought I had, I was like, everybody goes up and down these roads for 52 weeks a year. They want to be the first person in front of that audience, get that big pop. You got all that energy. Whose music is first? That's right, The Game.
Yep. For the second time in 3 years, Triple H is the first person to get his music played in front of the crowd to get the big pop. Yeah. At least last time it made sense because he was retiring. He left his boots in the ring. This time it's like, oh, okay. There's logistic reasons for this as opposed to actually like real pomp and circumstance reasons.
The Michael Cole's going on and on about the Triple H era, the Paul Levesque era, and it was just like the script was handed out and the script was executed all weekend long. Yep.
I mean, and you can argue. I mean, obviously it's been going on for a while now, but like ever since Rock showed up, as a member of the board, but like it was continuing all throughout the week. Like I think the two biggest things that they hit, that on their media hits for WWE talent was that like, fuck AEW, fuck Vince McMahon. Those are the two most important things. If you're not talking about either one of them, why the fuck are you here?
Right. Take your ass home.
Yes.
Go in the stands.
So, yeah, man, like, to get back to the match though.
Yeah, DIY. I was like, yo, DX, DIY, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then
to be fair, like DIY has been interacting and with R-Truth, and R-Truth has been calling them Triple H and Shawn for months now. That they do have a storyline excuse. Oh, I wanted to go back to the Triple H thing, right? So, like, in comic books, in Marvel, Stan Lee had this, and it's similar to Vince McMahon. Like, the reason why I play the video packages so many is like, and when people talk about the casual fan for the lazy people, like, and why they can get away with like not having to explain why Cody offered the match to Rock to begin with,
right?
Like, they'll just play a video package and ignore what happened, and you only try to focus on the video package story. You actually got to watch the whole shows and be like, what is the full story? You just got to get the sound clip or the video clips. So, Stan Lee always had this saying that like when he was writing these stories over Jack Kirby's art was like, every comic book is somebody's first comic book. Like, you don't want to make the lore so hard to penetrate to make it to where, like, you don't want to actually get into it. So, like, there's a lot of explanation in Stan Lee's writing for the stories at time back in that era. And that was a lot of the ethos for, like, why Marvel was the way it was when it was in the 60s. So, like, the whole part of this is the biggest biggest audience we're going to get all year. We need to let people know this man is fucking gone. So we're going to bang this drum until you get it through your fucking thick skull that this man is gone. It's over. He's not coming back. Triple H is the guy now. He and The Rock are the guys now, and they're taking this forward, and it's a new guard, and it's WrestleMania 40 and all that kind of stuff. They bang you over the head every 15 minutes that this is a new day. Yes, it is. So, I get why they did it. They didn't have to do it that much, but this is a part of it where it's like, biggest audience we're gonna get. A lot of people were ran off by Vince's fuck shit for the last, 20 plus years of wrestling. The biggest thing we got, the biggest, like, reason why this thing has gotten more popular in, over the last 2 years that we can pinpoint is Vince's dismissal. So it's like, we gonna bang on this until people just overwhelmingly forget that, like, these shows are different. Kevin Dunn is also gone. The camera angles are fucking atrocious, or camera shots are atrocious, and camera cuts aren't atrocious anymore. They're just letting people know, like, this is a new day. We're moving forward. We're moving on. Like, it's Triple H, it's The Rock, and it's Wembanyama moving this thing forward. So that's kind of where they were going at with that, and I understand it. But back to this ladder match with the tag teams, I thought that the two least impressive teams throughout the whole entire match won both, and I was like, that kind of sucks. It's like you got Finn Balor bumping around like a maniac in a ladder match at his age. Is he 40 yet?
Oh yeah, easy.
Right. Still in incredible shape, still ripped as always, but my point is, like, he's too old for this shit, and he's in a ladder match dying for this over and over and over. Gargano and Pete Dunne did a damn DDT over the top rope to the floor through a table.
Yep.
Like, Kofi did a trust fall off a ladder that was in the ring onto the people on the floor. Dunne and Bate, they do stereo moonsaults off the ladder that's on the floor to people on the floor. And I hate to tell people, like, that hate when AEW has refs hold the ladder, but guess who holding the ladder? The E. Deal with it.
It was holding a lot of ladders.
Enjoy the high spot.
It was holding a lot of ladders in this match too.
Yes. They had to get a new ladder towards the finish because, like, Damian Priest is going to get himself killed on that broken ladder.
Yeah.
But, I thought it was a very good match. Not a great match. I thought it was a very good match. Fun, entertaining match, except for the down part where it's like, two sorry teams are tag team champions now.
Yeah, this was just kind of like it was like a double Money in the Bank match, like, as far as people.
It's like Money in the Bank and then reset and then do Money in the Bank again.
Yeah, it was hard to kind of get into. It was tough to follow the action for me, and I was like, and it didn't really move me too much. Some of the big bumps you mentioned, I recall those, but you're right. The winners just sucked the life out of this thing, and it's R-Truth and Miz. This is what they wanted, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I have no strong thoughts on this.
Yeah. All right. So next match after this, you have the second annual Rey versus his son match. Rey Mysterio and Andrade versus Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar, with Andrade coming as a late day replacement for Dragon Lee because they said, get him out of here. Andrade decided to come back, so we're going to put him in here without ever announcing it. We're going to false advertise.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Dragon Lee. I don't know how you make good on that or whatever else, but I will say like I feel better than Andrade was not here in the Andre not doing shit after just coming back.
And Andre life. But yeah, I thought this was a TV match. I thought they should have been brave enough to do 5-on-5 on this because they each brought out like 3 extra guys, like 3 extra managers and a woman on each side, I believe.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if I have my match right on that one, but
it was something like that. Like, and they could have did 5-on-5 with like with like one of the 5 being a woman.
Yeah. Like they could have done eliminations, stuff like that. But Ray versus his son, I think they got all the mileage out of it last year. They're still doing it. I didn't feel like it was nearly as hot this year.
It wasn't.
But you know, Dom is who he is at this point. Like it's a cute thing in the middle of the show. But this is not a serious wrestler still. Like,
nope, not a serious wrestler. And to let you know how unserious this was, like, in the middle of all this chaos with like people interfering and doing high spots, which were great, and I thought the crowd was into the high spots, and then I look at the cage match and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. The crowd reacted to this match a lot harder than a 2.5 star match, but okay. So at the end of it, all of a sudden, 2 gigantic white men show up wearing Rey Mysterio Eagles green Rey Mysterio mask, and I was like, who the fuck are you people? Who, like, are these the Creed brothers from NXT?
Bro, I was like,
these are on the main roster now. So I was like, are these the Creed brothers? So then all of a sudden,
hey, bro. I was like, hey, bro, like, these are the biggest white luchadors I've ever seen in my life.
And that's funny because, like, we've seen Karrion Kross in AAA before. So I don't know if it was you or if it was Josh that said, is that Jason Kelsey?
No, that's me, because Josh ain't recognizing no sports person.
That's a very fair point. So I was like, I immediately dismissed. I was like, that ain't Jason Kelsey. Until I saw the motherfucking Timberlands, like, he did the hop over the top rope. I was like, holy shit, that is Jason Kelsey. Because who else got a shaped body like that is athletic like that they can just find on hand? So I was like, okay. All right, that's Jason Kelsey. And then sure enough, ripped off the mask, and then he took off the shirt, and then he flexed, and I was like, shout out to Jason Kelsey.
Hey, man, that's not the easiest thing to do either. You're a non-wrestler. You're trying to get in the ring. This motherfucker's in Tim boots at WrestleMania.
And they weren't tied up tight.
Bro, and this bitch said, fuck it, I'm jumping over the rope. Man, it's hard to even walk and get on the apron, bro. If you're not going up the steps or something, like, come on. That's, shout out to him for doing that.
And that's how I knew it had to be Jason Kelsey based on the body type. And I was like, who else is that athletic at that size that we haven't seen before? Because if there was somebody athletic at that size, they'd be on the main roster by now. So I was like, that has to be Jason Kelsey. And sure enough, it was Jason Kelsey. So, and I was like, I wonder if that's Lane Johnson. That had to be Lane Johnson. So shout out to those two. But yeah, man. Taylor Swift,
40 years ago.
And the Kelseys, they everywhere now.
Nith Man says 40 years ago, Jason Kelsey would be a top guy in the All Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, yes. Like, hey, man. Like, I don't know if y'all understand the kind of freak athlete like Jason Kelsey is at his size. Like, they don't pull centers in the NFL often. He's one of the few that they do at this age, in this station. He's old now. He was still doing it. That dude's a freak. So yeah. Anyway, we move on.
Zach said Kelsey was probably a few Bud Lights in too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's no way he wasn't doing that drunk. There's no way. So, Rich, you know what time it is, right?
James Boy Bowl?
No, that's next. Before that, it's time for the Yeetism.
Oh my God. Let me load up the shovel. Let me take off the blazer, loosen up the tie, step inside the booth, burying this match time.
Oh, I thought you would say burying this match alive. That.
Oh yeah.
But hey, how am I rhyming better than you?
Getting old.
You couldn't give me props? No props? You be like that, James got a bar or two. No, okay, I see how it is.
I know about the secret James hard drive forever, so
Here you go.
Ain't no surprise to me.
So we get this incredible video package. Both of them. Say again.
We get this is the peak of the match right here.
So how people say, this dismiss like WWE fans say, look, man, don't even show matches, just show video packages and talking segments. Hey, bro, we might have been better off if we just got the video package. So they are together in a dark room, and it's built like as if it's like a pay-per-view main event match for a boxing fight, where the guys are decided to be in the same room to show them face to face or back to back, and in a dark room that was lit. And they both say their names, and they say I'm stuff like I'm my brother's keeper. And they show like, together throughout my entire life I've been with my twin brother. Through high school or through school, through life, through birth, through growing up, through school, through football, through the WWE, through championships, and it showed the break in the bloodline, all that kind of stuff. And Jay moving on to be main event, Jey Uso, the Yeet Man, and then showed Jimmy, not following along with him and wanting to become the No Yeet Man, and then I think they finished by saying I'm my brother's keeper, something like that. Maybe it was the CMB shit. I'm not sure. I don't remember. So, man, then it's time for Jey Uso to come out, and he had that goddamn crowd rocking. They was out there losing it, including James Boyd, who was standing and doing the yeet dance, up and down and up and down and up and down with the hands, and yeah, man, it was a fun time. The crowd was out there reacting, similar to when Prince Nana got people out here doing the dance, similar to when Booker T had white boys raising the roof. It's larger than life. So then out comes the No Yeet Man, Jimmy Uso, and he ain't booing the shit out of that man. He's smiling and enjoying it. And he comes down to the ring and they start wrestling, man. And it's a whole lot of nothing. And then it continues to be a whole lot of nothing. And then there's some super kicks. And this match went 11 minutes. I counted 15 super kicks between the two. And yeah, man, like super disappointing. Ultimately, they start throwing they start basically trading are brawling in the middle of the ring with punches, and then they start brawling in the ring by exchanging super kicks until Jay wins, and then he's going to finish, and then he puts Jimmy to the corner, hits him with a couple super kicks, and then he runs to the other corner and then hits a running jumping super kick, or dragon kick, whatever you want to call it, and then he sets up to hit the last super kick, and then the moment of truth, Jimmy puts up his hand on some no ma shit, please stop, I'm sorry, he says I'm sorry. Jimmy, dumbass, the crowd's yelling, no, you dumb motherfucker, don't fall for this. He helps him up. Jimmy suckers him in, hits a super kick, and then I think goes for the splash. Jay kicks out, and then Jimmy couldn't finish him, and then Jay takes him out, hits him with a super kick, and he goes and he hits the splash that looked like a crossbody, like a crossbody press. And he gets the 3 off a crossbody press. And, yeah, man. Bad match. What do you give it? 1.5 stars? 1 3/4?
1 star.
1 star.
This was definitive proof that both of these gentlemen need to grab a tag rope and never let it go. Like In Vogue, don't let go. I can't believe that I've been told this is going to be some great brother versus brother action. Just like all the other ones at WrestleMania, like Bret Hart and Owen Hart. Man, I stopped right there. I immediately sent a tweet out. I was like, don't ever disrespect them. And I, sent out a picture of WrestleMania 10. That shit had like 1,000 likes on it, like immediately.
Now, Rich, I normally don't do this kind of thing, but when I praising the Hardys, but wasn't WrestleMania 25 between Matt and Jeff better than this?
Yes.
That's a real low bar to not be able to clear, man.
I was with Josh today, right? And he pointed out that historically, all the great workers were also great tag wrestlers. All the great singles wrestlers that we know, or tag wrestlers that we knew, were great singles wrestlers. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels,
Nick Jackson, Ray Phoenix, Penta El Romero.
There you go. Back to the old days. Nick Bockwinkel, Ray Stevens.
Anybody in Japan that does road twos.
Dynamite Kid, British Bulldog. All these people that can work, all these great guys. But the Usos, who I've been told are the greatest tag team of all time.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Before we move on. Dax Harwood. The Usos, who I'm told are the greatest tag team of all time. James, they had 39 years to prepare for this match. And these are the ideas that they came up with. Because they never had practice doing it. They've never been around the world to perfect their craft in smaller promotions, in international promotions, anything like that. So when they get sent out there with, 12-minute match at WrestleMania and they tell them to go crazy, and they tried to go crazy, this was their idea. Just do super kicks a bunch of times, right? But they never properly learned how to have singles matches that were great. And that's, by function of where they are, how they were booked for years and years. Yeah, remember when Jimmy got, I don't know what number DUI it was, but when he got one of the DUIs, what did they do? They took Jay off TV until they were putting Jay back in there so they could do that what do you call it, the tribal chief match or whatever else in Hell in a Cell.
Right. So this is one of the worst matches in WrestleMania history. This was and I'm not talking about Butterbean versus Bart Gunn or fucking these 30-second matches that were at WrestleMania 4, 5, 6, shit like that. No, that's a whole nother class. This shit got time. This shit got 8 months of storyline behind it.
Yep.
This shit had 39 years of real life build. And what did they give us? Yeet versus no yeet.
No. They didn't give us. They didn't give us just that. You mentioned 39 years together. You have to now at this point definitively say that they have, I guess, what's the opposite of surpassed? They have sank below Sho and Yo as far as being lifelong or career-long tag team that has no fucking chemistry or the worst chemistry together as a singles. It makes no fucking sense. They're worse than Sho and Yo.
Yes. Absolutely. This was one of the big matches people were expecting to be good. If you are a
regular watcher of WWE and you are invested in their storylines, Jay versus Jimmy was one of the marquee matches for you. And it was one of the worst matches, or it was probably the worst match on either night of WrestleMania, on the WrestleMania weekend. Yeah. It has to be. What was worse? Yeah, that was the worst match of WrestleMania.
What was it? I think we came on the preview and my over under this was 2.5. I was
mine was 2 3/4.
I'd be shocked. They didn't come close to that. Nope. I almost wouldn't this was I don't know, man. This was good to be cousins with. Good to be in the NOI family, man. Because boy, get these niggas off the screen.
Hey, we said we put the over under for star rating at 2.5. And I put mine at 2, and you put yours at 2.5, and I put mine at 2 3/4. Little did I know that we were mistaken. We should have put the cage match rating over under at 2.5 and 2 3/4. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So forever, Yeet has defeated No Yeet.
At least they got the right winner, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Put them back together in 3 months and see if anybody cares.
Bro, can you imagine? Actually, I can't imagine. If Kofi and Xavier had a tag match, had a singles match for each other where one turned heel, there's no way in fuck they will go out and have a shitty match. No way.
No way.
No way. And for years, people have always said the Usos are better than New Day. All right. Look, you may be right. They may be a better tag team. They're not better wrestlers.
RJ Sag says, I blame the Roman bloodline stink. I feel like if this match is a bit better in 2017. Absolutely.
Well, because they were better in 2017.
Yeah, they're a lot younger then. I want to say they may not have been as in good shape then, but they were definitely like more wrestling based. Like a lot of this stuff now, very dumbed down. They definitely had the urge to start talking to each other and stuff like that. They wouldn't have had that in 2017.
Right. Yeah. All right. So 6-woman tag match. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Damage Control, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai.
The James Boyd Bowl.
Here you go with this shit again. Anyway, so let's just get to the interest for Naomi and Bianca and Jade Cargill.
Jade comes on, they're descending from heaven.
Yeah, they're descending from a lift, and it's black. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I thought Beyonce was done to Super Bowl halftime shows. So all three of them come down. They all play the music. They all get their chances. Bianca comes out last, and they come down, and they all in the silver and gold. And I'm like, damn, they look like superstars, all three of them. And so the match starts, and they start with Naomi and Asuka. I think that was probably a nod to the part when they were tag team champions or a tag team before. And ultimately, this is setting up for Bianca to go in there and carry most of this match, where they get the heat on Naomi. Bianca shines. She's carrying this match for the other two. She's the most impressive wrestler of the six in this match intentionally, and it's ultimately set up getting Jade in there so she can go out there and kill people with her few moves that she has in her bag, and then ultimately she puts away Dakota with the Jaded. And I thought this match was a success. It wasn't meant to be a great match. It wasn't meant to be a good match. It was meant to showcase Bianca. It was meant to showcase Jade as like they're having a one-upsmanship of who's stronger between the two, which continue from the Rumble. I thought it was a success, and we'll see what happens as far as their story, as far as them being like a friendly competition turned into rivals over the time being. But like, I think Bianca needs to be stapled to Jade to make sure that this shit works.
Okay, I'm gonna go real negative right now.
All right, go ahead.
They had to.
It wasn't like it was a good match. It was fine.
Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily even about the match. Like, I thought the concept of this match existing was on shaky means at best. The chicken wing advertising out there, that is something people were pointing out. And
that sucked. That absolutely sucked.
That was like, hey man, what the fuck?
Hey, also during the match with all the luchadors, they're selling the Spanish Mexican drink.
Yep. And it's like, oh, is this why Triple is this how have I cracked the code on why all these matches are getting booked by race? The entrances, as you mentioned, they had Jade come out first, then Naomi, then Bianca. Mm-hmm. They all came down to Bianca's music. Yep. I thought, like I mentioned earlier, Bianca being taken out of singles, I think, was a hindrance for the show, and could have given us another opportunity to see her year to year, kind of be, add to her awesome resume at WrestleManias. She didn't do that this year. Jade is exactly the same Jade she was in AEW. I don't know who he is.
That PC, the PC ain't getting no better. And like she showed up at the Rumble, and people pretend like she wasn't already debuted, and people were saying it takes her time to get better, and this and the third is like, I'm sorry, they already debuted her. What the fuck are we talking about here? If she wasn't ready, they shouldn't have put her ass in the Rumble.
And this is not a Jade thing. This is like she is who she is.
This is bad coaching.
Like this is like nah. It's like, hey man, like this is who this is. Like they coached her up in AEW and got her to a point where she was having live television matches with the likes of Anna Jay, even that were decent or whatever. Like she had a couple of decent matches in AEW. Like
yes,
I'm not like sold. Like if you hear people like talk about her, like she's just this atrocious wrestler. Like that's
bullshit.
That's not actually true. Like it's like, all right, there are things there and you have to enhance her or whatever. But like the more WWE is treating her like she's this like almost this charity case, to where it's like they're booking her in a way to show her how quote unquote impressive she is, but anybody that isn't invested in this from a sense of like you just see Jade and you're just drawn to her, or it's a pride kind of thing or whatever, or if you see this thing for what it is, it's like, yo, they actually don't believe in her. Like, like the way they're, positioning her, like they only let her do the hot tag or whatever.
They're protecting her more than they're protecting her, like to the part where it's like she's more competent than the level they're protecting her.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's like it's almost hindering in a way. It's
can't
like
go that way.
It's patronizing in a way as well.
That's a good word. That's a good word for it.
And it's like, I just look at the concept of this match and it's like, okay, yes, awesome. Three, great black women superstars or whatever. Like, but it reeked of like the same thing of like, yeah, man, we got to put everybody in the same match. There's not no spots for everybody. Right. Yeah. We're going to give these spots to Becky and Rhea here. Bianca, sorry, you're up the road. Yeah. But we got something for you, and then Oscar, you're up the road, whatever. They've been cycled her down. But I don't know, man. I wasn't feeling it. The match, the match, I'm not really so much on the match, but I saw something for Mark Henry.
You should be. Think of the lineup that is. You got Kairi Sane, Asuka, Dakota Kai, Bianca, and Naomi. They can go out there and have a competent match between them. If those 6 same women were in Stardom, they will go out there and have a 3-star match easily in 8 minutes. They laid out this match, just like you mentioned, in a patronizing way to feel like Jade Cargill cannot do anything by herself without being carried by more experienced women. When like she is good enough to be out there with those 3 and do things and be impressive. Like I don't like. It was weird, man. It was weird. Like they treating her as if like it was like the first run, like when Megan Bain first got in. We're like, you have no idea what she's capable of.
Right. So like,
but eventually they trust her to do shit.
Like the visuals and all that were on point. Obviously, they look great.
Right.
And I'll never take away like the just the power of seeing them together, what that looks like. But I'm looking for the reasons of why this thing, was put together. Like, how's this thing? Like, is this some long-term group that they're trying to set up? Is this the genesis of something, or is this, hey, we just put this together for the night? So I don't know. Like,
I would be disappointed if they went through all of this just for this to be just advertising chicken wings.
Yeah. But what we have? Oh, Mark Henry. Yeah. He blew a gasket on Busted Open Radio, a program that I feel like should be shut down by the federal government for the way it is contributing to the mind of wrestling fans. He basically like lost his mind at the fact that Kyrie didn't get out the ring in time. I was informed this is like kind of an old school thing, like that, wrestlers can, get mad at if someone doesn't get out the ring during the entrance or whatever. But I feel like this is something that's so deep inside the business that when you say something like this out loud to the level that you did with the anger and vitriol that you did, it's like, oh, like you're actually like telling us something like, like wrestling fans nowadays, at least the smart ones that listen to One Nation Radio and the Social Suplex Podcast Network, like you guys kind of like, how this all works, right? But we don't know every
rule shit.
Like we don't know everything, right? So like when I hear this, I'm like, oh, did they just teach us something? Like if he never said nothing, nobody was complaining about that.
Right.
So it's like you might want to walk this back somehow, especially with like how angry he was at this.
Yeah, and also it's like, I mean, I've noticed before with certain, I've noticed it mostly with heels, where it's like they'll just duck out the ring when like the heel come out first, they're not out the ring. Like I remember Kagetsu always got the ring when she came out first for a starting match, and I was like, that reminds me of certain other heels that would just get out the ring, and I'm like, maybe that's just for the photo op, that's to kill the suspension of disbelief that like why can't this person just attack them before the bell starts. Right. And then other times you'll see people like, Randy Orton or Triple H, where it's like, or someone that's really hot or a babyface that's really mad, don't leave the ring, and like you'll have the ref like tell them chill out in the corner, don't do anything or whatever else. Like, so I don't know how you play this. Like, is it based? I don't know if it's based on the storyline or based on how it's going to start. Like, do you stay in the ring or do you not stay in the ring? I don't know how that works, but like, I saw the clip of it after he complained about it. I was like, I don't really see anything that's really to be upset about here. But he knows the business more than I do, obviously. But I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't think Roman Reigns really cared that Cody stayed in the ring.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah, I whatever.
Yeah. What was next?
Oh, so then you get the best, I mean, in my opinion, the best match of the weekend. WWE Intercontinental match. Gunther versus Sami Zayn. They opened with a video package of Gunther basically talking about how great and dominant he's been. Mentioned the other past all-time great Intercontinental champions by name, and then the ones he couldn't mention by name, they showed in video, like Randy Savage, because WWE still has this weird fucking thing with the Savage. So then they show Sami Zayn basically doing almost like the Rocky 3 training montage with Chad Gable. Everything short of saying there is no tomorrow came out of Chad Gable's mouth, but they showed the training segments, and then they show Sami Zayn in the back hugging his wife, who last time I think we saw her was in Montreal versus Roman, and hugs him. They do the hugs and kisses exchange or whatever else. And I started getting the vibes of like, this is a less serious version of like Vader versus Ric Flair, where like kissing because you're concerned because you might die out there. So he walks the ramp, and all of a sudden you see Kevin Owens there to pump him up before he goes through Gorilla, and they get the great shot of him taking a whole walk like a walkout for a fight. And you see his back reaching the crowd, everything. They play the Sky music. He cranks up. And they had a match, and it was everything I thought they were going to do, given where we are with Sami Zayn's career, plus some, because I was not expecting the Brainbuster, the old school El Generico Brainbuster, but it was perfect classics, babyface underdog storytelling, and like Walter wore his ass out, and Sami kept fighting, and then eventually he fired up, and Gunther, started making gestures towards. And like mocking Sami in front of Sami's wife, and then Sami fired up, and then he mounted this comeback in this run, and ultimately he got cut off, and I thought it was over. He kicked out, and then he's got a position to end up hitting the haluva kick. He hits a big brain buster on Gunther, and he put him away, and it was like one of the better WrestleMania matches we've seen in the last few years. I love this match. I was super happy for Sami. Super happy for Gunther that he gets to now be elevated to the level that he should have been at last year, given what the work he's done with the Intercontinental title. I thought this was a perfect booking for like Sami Zayn gets the Intercontinental title back, and he just beat an all-time Intercontinental champion, and Gunther now gets to get upgraded to like the main event scene. I thought this was great.
Yeah, this is a great match. The setup admittedly was a little goofy with that video they played beforehand, of course. I thought the Jordan Devlin storyline was in play, but they didn't go that direction. Mm-hmm. We got to look at this guy, Sami Zayn. Like last year, this guy, he was the lifeline to save the bloodline.
Yep.
This is one of the most popular wrestlers in the company.
Yep.
In the company's history at this point.
Yeah.
Like, and I know he's got to play the underdog and all that shit or whatever storylines, but like when you send him out there for this, it's like, all right, yeah, he was the Intercontinental title from Gunther, who's the greatest Intercontinental champion of all time, 666 days, which is fucking hilarious. But it's like, yeah, this is a good reward, but this is your 4th Intercontinental title. And it was like, yo, there should be more out there for Sami Zayn, but I guess just, it's just the way the ball is bounced for him.
They never seen him as a mid-carder, and Vince has waited so long that now he's past the prime where he can't be a main eventer.
Yeah, so like, maybe he could, but, they're just not going to do that. As far as the match, like, I thought the match was really great, and like, I don't think it was like one of the best Gunther matches or anything, but on this show,
the bar is so high on that.
Yeah, this show was a revelation. Because by this time I was like, hey man, this show is fucking suffering. I haven't opened the notebook once. I opened the notebook for this one, and it was like I thought they were going a little excessive with the wife stuff toward the end, but eventually it ended, and I was shocked at this. I didn't anticipate a title change here at all.
Neither did I. But I love that it happened.
Yeah, get this man Gunther, moved up.
Yeah, because like after the Rumble, the 2023 Rumble was like, bro, like they need to, like, if Cody's going to be the champion, the perfect foil for him, if we're going to get past Roman, is Gunther. After seeing that Rumble, like,
look, we should have known. Like last year when Gunther didn't lose the Intercontinental title, it was like, oh, that should have been the giveaway that Cody wasn't winning, because you can't elevate one without the other.
You might have a point there. Like, because at this point now, like I think Gunther and Cody finna be generational. like I think it's gonna be I think they're gonna pull off a generational main roster match after what I saw with them in that Rumble. Cody anemic. Gunther finna chop shit. That man's chest gonna turn purple. They gonna talk about that pec. It's gonna look, man. I can already see it now.
You gonna activate an injury?
No, I'm saying like he gonna chop him. He's gonna turn red. People like, is his pec? Did he pop his pec? Did he chop so hard that his pec busted? It's gonna be all sorts of shit. And Cody. Look, for all the things we can say about Cody, there's one thing you can never say about Cody is Cody is not selfish in the ring. Cody will go out there and let people do whatever to him or whatever else. He can sell his ass off. So like, I think those two together are a perfect matchup.
Yeah, that was this was easily the best match of night one and probably the weekend.
Yeah, for me. All right, so main evento.
36 minutes between the end of the semi-main
event and the main event. Yeah, awful. Like, there's no need for this. If you're gonna start at 7, like, don't give me what. That's 7 matches? 7 matches, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't give me 7 matches and then go 4 hours or go on like 3 hours and 3 hours. Or it's like 3 hours and 30 minutes. Like that's or 3 hours and 40 minutes almost. Like that's ridiculous. Like we watched NXTs that will have 5 matches be done in 2.5 hours. I don't care this WrestleMania. This wasn't even the show that had like the Hall of Famers come out.
Yeah, they did that next day.
Right. That's ridiculous. So, do better. And I mean, look, night 2 was a lot better as far as timing. And I don't understand why in the world you need to go 44 minutes with Rock in his 50s, but only get 33 minutes out of Cody and Roman in the match where you throw the kitchen sink out. Whatever. That's odd. That's really odd. Anyway, so tag team match to determine the stipulations for the main event title match the next night. The Bloodline, Roman Reigns and The Rock versus the, what do you call them? The full-timers, Cody and Seth, whatever the hell they calling each other.
Bro, I just started looking at these teams on paper. I was like, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes versus The Rock and Roman Reigns. Man, I ain't rooting for no Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. What the fuck I look like?
Look, man, it was really simple for me. I ain't rooting for no Seth Rollins at this point. I'm sorry. Like, why are you here? Why would you volunteer for this? Then you show up and start all this by saying that you were trying to beg Cody to after winning the role for the second time to challenge for your loser bracket belt, and he turned you down, and now you want to help him? Do you not see how that makes you look?
No, this is a man without mirrors in his home. I like how Seth and Cody, knowing that they had matches on night 2, decided to do the toned down versions of their gears and entrances on night one.
It's crazy to say that what Seth wore for night one is toned down. This man looked like Madonna at the Met Gala.
Wow. Man, this match was long.
He had a decorative rose on his shoulder, or a little flower on his shoulder that was the size of his torso.
Yeah, bro. I see Seth Rollins and I'm just confused, man. Like, at all things. Everything that happened to him this weekend, it's like, how do you get him to agree to it? I just wonder. Bro,
there is a thin line between, there is a thin line between, larger than life and clown, and like Seth Rollins repeatedly makes that thin line look like the size of the Grand Canyon. He ain't even close. But he's never right.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, and he hasn't signed a new deal either, so I'm like terrified. Like, I am terrified. The things, the L's this man took, it was like, hold on, man, is this guy wrapping up? Like, is this why,
he's retiring?
Look, if he's leaving the company, I hope it's to, stay home, be a family man. Do not answer no 904 area code call.
If he gets an offer from AEW, it will be like, this is one of the few things I believe Eric Bischoff said. That he offered Lex Luger a deal that was so low that he thought there's no way he'd take it. And then Lex Luger took it any fucking way. He's like, oh shit, all right. Like, Seth Rollins, look, Tony Khan out here offering Seth Rollins like 3 years, $1.5 million. And it's Seth saying yes.
Is he going to say yes?
I'm saying that scenario, like, like, I imagine Tony Khan offers him, like, bro, I'm not giving you no $1 million a year. You're Seth Rollins in 2024. Are you kidding me? And he offers him something ridiculously low, and then Seth, wait, he said yes?
Yeah, right.
All right.
Like,
look, come on in here and grab the tag rope, brother.
I made the point the one time, like, Seth Rollins is the kind of guy that loses you the wrestling war.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And nothing has changed my mind.
Look, if you want to come out here and be John Moxley's pin eater in BCC, I mean, who am I to say no? I mean, he can hold that value, and they can do a little matchy match one time, and then Moxley beats him and sends him away. But that's about it. Sorry, Sam.
I have no interest.
Same. The only interest I have in him is in maybe being a tag wrestler or something like that. No singles guy. No. There's too many people right here right now for this, and I don't need this clown coming out here being goofy and being ridiculous. Like, if he has a new character where he's serious, I'm willing to hear him out. As he is presently constructed right now, that cannot be an AEW. We luckily right now in a renaissance because we got rid of a clown because he got shoulder and hip injuries. Totally different clown. And I gotta say, the Seth Rollins clown is worse.
Oh yeah. Man. But as far as this 45-minute main event, man, where to even begin? Like,
I mean, they wrestled like they was going an hour. They ended up at 44 minutes. Like, nothing happened in the ring when they started. Then they went out there and brawled. I made the observation that, like, the camera was mostly on Rock and Seth because Rock is now on the board and said, when we go out this ring, you keep the camera on me. And then when it's time for them to do their little suplex on the ramp, you cut to them and then you come back to the Rock.
Right.
And then we go split screen. You might go to them for a little bit and have them on the big screen. I'm on the small screen. But then once you get out of split screen, come back to the People's Champ. And then they went back into the ring, and then, like, it was just a regular old match. Rock was out there being carried by 3 people, and it wasn't good enough. And I think the match really didn't matter until maybe right before. What was the big spot that happened before the spear?
Man, that was a long match. I don't remember.
Yeah, man, there was something that happened before and they picked it up. Like, I want to say like the last 8 minutes of the match were good, but we had to sit through, 36 minutes to get to it. Fuck that. No. Go to hell. Sorry,
No
Rock.
shot.
Love you, but go to hell. There's a reason why I wore that Rock shirt last week as opposed to this week's show. Like, I knew that Rock there was a great chance that Rock ain't had nothing left in him. And he don't. Rock was in a tag match, and he was out here on his feet, conscious, while Roman was in the ring, and in danger getting double team. He didn't even hop in to stop the double team because he was just standing there. He had nothing left. He just watching action.
Out here.
And the cup chair, standing.
Rock was out here moving gingerly. At first he was taking limited bumps. He was saving them for the end of the match. It just was like there were times where you could see, yeah, man, I think The Rock can do something, but then it was so limiting, and it was like eventually they just told him to get the fuck out of the way, and then them three kind of had the match.
Rock can't do nothing but sell. Like when he took that spear, he sold his ass off. That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. He sold that spear as if he got his ass beat.
Yeah.
He sold that spear as if he got hit with a belt, and he yelled and lost all his air, and he was trying to suck in the rest of the air to catch his breath to scream out again. That was hilarious. Like if we were on the audio, or sorry, the video thing this week, that'd be my backdrop, him screaming during this match right now.
This is not the Mitsuharu Misawa and Kenta Kobashi versus the Holy Demon Army,
it is not
45-minute match. This is not that.
No,
this is slow. This took forever.
This is not FTR versus Young Bucks.
This was looking for reactions that didn't come in a lot of cases.
This was not New Day versus Usos.
This was telling you that, hey, this is epic, this is epic, this is epic, but not really getting that in the action. Rock took a rock bottom through the table and stuff like that, but it was they pulled this match directly out of the Attitude Era, I feel and it just went way too fucking long, and there's no reason for this match to have gone that long. And then Rock,
we didn't mention the worst part. Seth sold that fucking leg again, that fucking knee.
Yeah. He was back to selling the knee just at random at different times during the match.
Before he started jumping off shit again and then grabbing his knee again.
Yeah. I hate to be a stickler for the knee stuff, but it's just so obvious.
It's
he just
fucking
yells.
awful when he does it. He does a high spot and then lands on his knee and he grabs his knee. Stop jumping off shit, dummy!
It's like he oversells. He overdoes it. I didn't like this match.
It's 44 minutes. Go to hell. No.
Get one.
No. If you're going 44 minutes, you got to have one of the best matches of all time to justify going that time. I don't have the time for it. I don't give a damn if it's the main event of the second biggest show of the year. I don't care.
Yeah. Don't come out here for 44 minutes if you're not even close.
If you're going 20, you better be great. If you're going 30, you better be one of the best matches of the year. If you're going 40, you better be one of the best matches of all time. Those are the rules. There's too much wrestling out here to compare it to. Sorry.
Day one, overall, Middington.
Yeah.
One match show for me.
I probably go 3 matches. I like the Rhea and Becky. I like the ladder match with all the crazy high spots. But yeah, I'm with you. So moving on to night 1, the real main event, the real WrestleMania. Good Lord. So
Stephanie McMahon
comes out. Another person who comes out and says, "Welcome to WrestleMania," who may be also a Cody. So
who is literally implicated right now.
Yeah, Cody, co-defendant.
No one cares.
So she does her spiel, and I'm like, hey man,
about the Triple H era, the Paul Levesque era.
Yep.
Banging home again.
Triple H went to the back, took the picture with Triple H. Triple H posted that tweet. It made me think of various future quotes. But yeah, out comes Drew McIntyre. He has a bunch of men in kilts, bringing them down to the ring. They got a bunch of swords. They knighting them. Seemed like they knighting them, whatever the hell they're doing. That was cool. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of like people.
Hey, do they only have one song in bagpipes?
No, it just sounds like one song.
I feel like it's the same shit Roddy Piper was coming out to.
It's not. It's not even close. It's an annoying instrument to a lot of people, so they just tune it out, and it all sounds like scratches, like nails on a chalkboard.
It's all like Ray talking about. Oh, they all got the same beat.
I remember it was an episode of Friends where Ross was playing bagpipes to play at Chandler and Monica's wedding, and he was trying to learn how to play "Celebrate Good Times, Come on bagpipes." Shit was hilarious. It was awful, fucking awful. Anyway, but that is to say that yes, there is more than one song to be played on bagpipes. That's all the reason why I brought it up. So anyway, it's time for Seth's entrance. And I'm like, oh boy, what do we got on store for us now? And he did not disappoint. He had a I don't know.
Bro, this shit looked terrifying, bro. This looked like the white people's version of Carnival. Like, I was like, yo, I don't want to run into none of these people.
Rich, it is crazy how similar what I was going to say was to what you just said. It's crazy. I was going to say the terrifying, but bro, this is like white Phillies. This is like South Phillies Carnival. What is this? That's not what I was going to say.
Wow.
Yeah, so they come out, and now I'm like, is Seth already out here yet? Or is the camera is he hidden in the crowd of all these goofs? And then Seth comes out, he's dancing, and everybody comes around, and then also Michael Cole makes an Adam Rose reference without saying Adam Rose's name, because Adam Rose might be persona non grata. I think he's a sex pest. So,
oh yeah, that man's he's locked up.
Oh, there you go. So Seth comes out, he's dancing with the rest of that crowd of people dressed, very, very loudly, whatever else. No selling that knee, and then immediately, started selling that knee. Seconds later, I was like, okay, man, all right.
Quick, they was off to the races in this match, though. Like,
yeah, this was a very good match.
When they first got started, I was like, yo, let's go. Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, 12 seconds. And then, like, they almost did it. And I was like, let's go.
Yeah, they faked out the, they pulled the WrestleMania 25 Triple H and Randy Orton. Let's see each other with our finishes and kick out them really quick so we can start hot because we don't know what we got left. But,
they out of everything in this match.
Yeah, they kicked out of a bunch of shit. And for me, it was like, all right, man, y'all have already kicked out of the other finishes a bunch of times. This feels like a Brock Lesnar, let's hit all our signatures and finishers and kick out of everything and hope the crowd goes nuts for it. And I was like, all right, at this point now, we're at a point where we're past the peak of kicking out. Now the crowd's going to whatever. But quickly they wrapped up after that. And they hit it. It was a pedigree on the floor. Pedigree on the floor. Yeah. Seth sells his knee. Can't get him in the ring enough time. McIntyre recovers. He hits 2 Claymores and wins.
I like how we completely have left CM Punk off of like our mentions here. Because that's exactly what
That's right.
That's what his commentary contributed to this match was nothing, because by the time it was time to hear CM Punk on the mic, we had heard him all fucking week. Like, we heard him on Ariel Helwani. He was on the pre-show both days for 2 hours straight. Then he's in the opener of night 2. By that time, there was nothing left to say. And mind you, everything's hanging over his head today on this show from that we know the tape's coming out. So like, you know, it was he wasn't playing with no references. He wasn't doing nothing. And it really just was like he had to engage with talking about this shit he clearly don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, because it's like, bro. Well, I think the funniest line he had was when Seth came out. He's like, "Look at this clown," and hey, he's right. He's right. Look at this clown. So Seth loses. He rolls out the ring and he looks at McIntyre. McIntyre has a belt, and he's standing outside at ringside on the floor. And the camera catches Seth. I don't know if he's actually tearing up, if he's crying for real, if it's fake crying, I don't know. But he's fake crying or crying, and he says, you know, you cherish this belt or some shit like that, or you take care of it, or you respect the belt or whatever else. I'm like, you fucking geek. And so then McIntyre starts celebrating. He starts celebrating in front of CM Punk with the belt. I think also during the match, while McIntyre was regulating Seth, he took his phone from his significant other and tweeted out, "Bored at work, LOL."
Yeah.
Which was fucking hilarious. So, fast forward back, he's standing with the belt on top of the commentary table in front of CM Punk. CM Punk grabs his legs, takes off the arm cast or arm brace, whatever else. He starts beating he ends up having, he gives a headshot with it. And then the crowd goes nuts. Damian Priest's music hits. CM Punk smiles. He gets out the way and is like, "You got it. Go ahead." So Damian Priest hits a headshot with the briefcase, cashes in, hits his finish on McIntyre, and becomes the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, at this point, I was like, great. You know, I would want the Money in the Bank briefcase abolished or whatever, but like, also, another person not signed, Drew McIntyre. So when he won, I was kind of shocked. But then you saw what they did, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Priest cashes in. He can have the World Heavyweight belt. No one will care. As far as, you know, I liked the match. Like, I thought it was pretty good.
It was a very good match. And they were fun, as you mentioned, because they had less than 11 minutes.
Yeah, so like they were just
because they had to do all the stuff with Punk and also do the cash in and then the celebration after the cash in.
Yeah, and I think you know, with Drew, you know, he's not signed or anything, but we'll see. You know, he got to do his character his way, and maybe he stays or whatever, because they do have Clash at the Castle coming again in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the Punk thing is set up.
What month is that?
No idea.
Okay.
You know, but this guy has not signed a contract, so you know.
And you know, if he doesn't do Clash at the Castle, he can always do Wembley.
Yeah, which you know will be in a big stadium.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. But yeah.
If you ask me who I want, Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins.
Oh, please, it's not even close. Are you kidding me?
Jesus Christ.
Like even just TV age alone, you would go with McIntyre.
Yeah.
Like Seth's been around since 2012. Anyway,
I mean, McIntyre's been around forever too, but
right, but he was away.
Yeah, slightly different.
Yeah. All right, so next match. The Philadelphia Street Fight.
Woo, go to hell.
With special guest ref Bubba Ray Dudley. Go to hell.
Yep.
You have the Pride, Angelo Dawkins, Bobby Lashley, Montez Ford versus the Final Testament, Karrion Kross, and AOP. Rich, is this where we put it in? Pause. Is this where we dub in the music right here?
Whatever you would like to do.
Yeah, so I'm going to add the music here. At this point, when we start talking about this match, you will hear fuck AOP, fuck AOP, fuck AOP, fuck AOP. Anyway, so yeah, this match stunk, and and not even Montez Ford's the highest spots can save it because Final Testament Bunch of big stiffs. Bunch of big
They
stiffs.
ain't got it.
Nope.
And Lashley and Montez and Angelo, these guys are, they were a lot more over. I want to say maybe like a year ago.
2 years ago too.
2 years ago, and it seems like they haven't really been followed up on too much.
Yeah.
And you start looking around like, hey, you've been here a while, and then you kind of just become somebody that's here rather than someone that's standing out. And I don't think this booking enhanced them. I don't think the Final Testament really has much going for it. Like it's not appealing to me. Like, and I'm not to be all say all wrestling fans, but I mean, let's take a look at the reaction.
Yeah,
like we got this manager from the 1980s.
Rich, they gave Karrion Kross 2 managers like he's Yokozuna in 1994. At least when it came to Cornette being there, since Mr. Fuji wasn't good at English. Scarlett can speak English. That's her native language.
Yeah, they gave him a man, a woman, and a tag team. In some places, that's called a lifestyle. But in WWE, it is called the Final Testament. Man, this thing was sponsored by Gin and Juice. Hated it.
That's right. It was sponsored by Gin and Juice.
I was not for this match.
The six-man tag match featuring a trio with black men, sponsored by Gin and Juice.
Love it.
That's 3 of these.
Thanks, game.
Okay. Now that shit's out the way. Fuck ALP. LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
The TNA offer match.
So LA Knight comes out. He's over as fuck. Then AJ comes out. The crowd don't know how to react because they just said, "Hey, we got a good thing going. AJ got one of the better original theme musics that came out of WWE in the last decade. So let's just change it now. Now that we're in the closing stretch and we're probably only a couple of years away from him being inducted into WWE Hall of Fame. Let's change his theme music now." And what did we do? We fucked it. You can't even hear it over the fucking pyro. It's so quiet that you can't even make it out. Only thing you hear is dude yelling in, "You don't want none." Thanks. Great. Fuck.
Some fresh boom fuckery out of the Death Rebel studio. Whatever they do, man, they need to lock the doors to that place. They need to unplug the equipment. They need to
burn it for insurance money.
Yeah, burn the masters. No,
the building they work out of. Burn it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Set it ablaze.
Got you.
Arson. Yeah. Yes. James Boyd just championed arson. Yes.
Like you see these old WWE themes, and then it's like, how they always talk about, like, man, he was one of the good ones, one of the last few we had. Like, and then that's what it's like every time you lose like one of these themes. Whatever. Wait till one day they pull out that fresh new Nakamura. Watch. It's gonna be nasty. Wait till they're like, hey, Rock, we want you to set the example, for everyone else. You notice whose music they're not changing though?
Triple H's. He's still gonna come out into that Lemmy.
Correct. They're not changing CM. Well, actually, they did change CM Punk's. Paul Triple H was back. They're not changing Cody's shit.
Hey, that gong hit. They ain't changing that.
Yep. What would the Death Row Undertaker theme sound like?
Oh my god. Ass. Or dead ass.
Yeah, Death Row must be stopped. But yeah, as far as this match. LA Knight, I thought they worked hard here.
I thought they worked hard. I thought they told a very good old school style match or story where, like, LA Knight is taking these big bumps for AJ, but between that, AJ or LA Knight is shining the most because he's the babyface. And ultimately at the end, AJ works over LA Knight's leg to get the calf crusher, to get momentum back, to get ahead in the match. Ultimately, LA Knight gets the ropes. And eventually, at some point, AJ makes a mistake. He ends up getting his ribs busted. And then at the very end, he goes for the phenomenal forearm. And LA Knight shoves him off of the ropes, and he lands on the busted ribs. And AJ gets up, holding his ribs really bad. And then LA Knight beats him with the blunt force trauma. I thought it was a good TV match. But that's the problem. Like, it went 12 minutes. It wasn't meant to be special. It was meant to be a match to get LA Knight over, and that's what it was. But, you know, I still want to see AJ Styles wrestling at the top level. I see how he wrestles. I think he can still wrestle at that level, but they're not letting him, or he doesn't want to, or whatever.
Yeah, AJ kind of shocked me with kind of how good he looks still. You know, he had a lot of extra mass that he's never really had before.
Right. And then you still see him with that agility and body control. You're just like, Jesus Christ, this fucking guy's still great.
Yeah, like he's you know, sure there's there's a reason, but never mind that.
Yeah.
You know, but shit. You know, could AJ Styles be, you know, like I know he lost or whatever, right? But you know, you could send him out there to give Cody a title match.
Yep. Hell, do AJ Styles versus Logan Paul.
Yeah, run it. Like, well, I'm a gamer. I don't recognize you. Y'all like my AJ Styles voice?
I forgot AJ Styles does gaming. I totally forgot about that shit.
Yeah. My kids don't watch it. I don't watch you. You and your friends.
I cannot wait till the next black person they put in the bottle so AJ Styles can fucking rock. That shit finna be racist as hell. Oh man. All right. So United States triple threat match. Logan Paul champion. With the Prime Bottle who ended up being the speed ISO speed guy, versus Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. Logan Paul comes out, did Logan Paul come out last, right?
He came out first. He came out in the big truck.
Yeah, he came out with the truck. That's right. He came out with the truck.
Bro, that's one of the biggest trucks I've ever seen in my life. Like, bro, Funk Flex, bro. Remember the Big Truck Series mixtape, Funk Flex? Bro, that was the Big Truck Series. We need to call Funk Flex for Logan Paul.
I don't remember even being bigger than the Monster Truck. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Bro,
I'm gonna have to pull it up and rewatch this now. Because the way you just talked about, like, that's the biggest truck I've ever seen. Okay.
That's not a monster truck or something? Like, nah, bro, that shit's fucking gigantic. That shit was like triple wide.
All right. I mean, maybe it was like an F-350 or some shit. I don't know. But, all right. So Kevin Owens comes down in a golf cart joint, like a jigsaw, I think. So then he comes down halfway down the ramp. He stops. Or before that, he walks out and then they do a reverse of the walkout that Sami Zayn had the night before. And then Sami Zayn's there to, motivate him to win the title so they can, do they WrestleMania 20 Eddie Guerrero redacted moment. So, except for the mid-card belts. So anyway, he gets the jigsaw and gets halfway down or probably a few feet short of the bottom of the ramp, and then Orton comes out, and then all of a sudden you see Kevin Owens just go in reverse and go back up the ramp and says, "Hey, Randy. We know we up in a time crunch. We trying to get this show over with. We know
how you get down.
Get on the back and let's get down here. We gonna save James Boyd like 5 minutes of this entrance." And I appreciate it. He was okay with it. They went down the ramp and then they had to start the match. And I was like, wow,
this is my favorite Randy Orton entrance ever.
Hey man, that's ethical wrestling right there. That's ethical wrestling.
This is friendship, all that.
We trying to save the carbon footprint of this show and this production by saving time for Randy Orton's entrance. He should look. Kevin Owens need to bring his ass out here should have brought his ass out here for the main event.
Yeah.
So
you could have drove that shit back and forth for all them run-ins.
Yeah. So this whole match, yeah. So this whole match was basically like, hey man, fuck Logan Paul, we gonna whoop his ass. They whoop his ass, then they get to the point where they both go for the pin at the same time. They look at each other crazy. Like, is it time to turn each other now? Because this is how this goes. Like, is it you gonna turn or I'm gonna turn? They were like, no, let's just continue. Kevin Owens is like, all right, fine. Kevin Owens turns his back. Randy Orton immediately grabs him and tries to go for RKO. Kevin Owens pushes him off, and then Randy Orton's like, come on, man, it's me. I'm a snake. I'm the Viper. You know I was gonna turn on you. And then Kevin Owens is like, yeah, that's true. Do you want us to do it now? You literally hear him say, you want us to do this now? And then Randy Orton's like, yeah, let's do it now. And they start hockey fighting, and then and they start beating each other up and start fighting and wrestling. And then from that point on, it turned to Logan Paul trying to make plays to get the win. And I forgot how the finish happened, but I think Randy Orton hit the RKO, and then Logan Paul threw him out the ring, and then he went and hit the gigantic frog splash to get the W. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I enjoyed the part where they're like, look, man, let's cut the shit. We're not about to, I know each other. We know how this goes. We're eventually one of us we're going to fight each other. We're going to say we're going to continue to whoop his ass? Okay, fine. Oh, you turned on me. I knew you were going to turn on me. Let's just do this now. And then they start fighting. I love that. Kevin Owens is fucking hilarious. There's no way Randy Orton thought of this. But it would make perfect sense to how they both reacted to it, to how, like, that's both of their characters, where Kevin Owens is too smart for this bullshit, and Randy Orton is a snake, ready to fuck you over. Like, what's the story? Like, the fable is, the scorpion and the frog.
Like, the scorpion will fucking bite you at the end.
Yeah, it's like, why would I'm the scorpion, I need you, frog, just let me ride on your back so we can get across the river or whatever body of water. And then the frog says, why would I do that? You gonna sting me. He's like, why would I sting you? Because if I sting you, we both gonna die. And frog dumbass says, all right, well, yeah, it makes sense. You ain't gonna kill yourself to kill me. And then what does Scorpion do? Fuck it. YOLO. Well, not YOLO, but suicide note, right? So, yeah, there you go. Randy Orton, a snake, a scorpion, all that. Something venomous and evil. So, yeah. But
bro, I thought Orton was gonna mail this shit in. I thought Orton was gonna mail this shit in, but he didn't.
Yeah. This one is, I was like, and as the match was going, it kept getting better and better. I was like, bro, this is like the best this is the best Orton WrestleMania match in years.
Yeah.
I have to think about it. Yeah. But yeah, this was very good. This was damn near great. It was very, very good.
Yeah. Logan Paul does it again.
So what do you call him? Loge or Logue?
I usually go Big Logue. Yeah,
so Big Logue rules again, apparently. So
yeah.
So then you get the main event, WWE Women's Title match, Io versus Bayley. They show the video package of Bayley, coming back with Io and Dakota for Damage Control at Clash at the Castle.
You gotta say, James, this entire video package made me unsympathetic towards Bayley.
Right. I know, right? So, well, she's sympathetic to most of the fans for, xenophobic reasons, but whatever. So they had a match, and the match is going is at a certain level, and then all of a sudden you start seeing Io just like it's similar to AJ. It's like, oh yeah, you've been stuck in this malaise at WWE that you forget that like this at one point or for a long time this was the most talented women's wrestler in the world. And like once you got to main roster, you never really saw that, but. Skill's still there. She's still fucking awesome. And she brought it out, and she was finally able to have a match where she was able to have people care about it. And she was in there with someone that was really good, or someone that also can be carried to great matches. And that's what happened. That's what happened. Io Shirai carried Bayley to a great match.
That was the first words I had when I was texting everyone. I was like, yeah, this is a Io carry job. Bayley at this point, like, she looked like she hurt herself early in the match, and this shit was not just selling. Like, like she was doing the low pay dives through the rope. So like
the low pay,
yeah, like seemingly like her athletic burst is gone as well. She tried like some elbow off the top and fell with style. like the Buzz Lightyear nigga, and Bailey just like I said, it was completely unsympathetic through this. I was like, wow. I was like, you recruited all these people to do dirt and be not shit, and then they turned on you because
they're not shit.
Because they ain't shit. Exactly.
We just talked about this in the last match. She recruited 3 Scorpions, and she got upset, and she couldn't believe that the Scorpion scorpioned.
Yeah. So, they've been trying to give Bailey something for years. Or, no, they haven't. Triple H,
Well, I mean, they've been trying to give her some ever since it was apparent that, Sasha was never coming back.
Yeah. Like, they gave her the Royal Rumble win. They ended up setting this thing up here with EO. And this is her big win. And
will she ever get another birthday?
I think this is her one birthday.
I think this is her only birthday, too. Because, I mean, since she's been on the main roster, they've never given her birthdays. Well, I mean, you can make the argument that they gave her a birthday for WrestleMania 33, but, that wasn't a birthday because that was her second title reign because they decided to give her the belt that shit on Raw.
Bro, I thought she was going to walk out when she was getting carried out and shit with her shit, and then she was going to, they were going to set her down, and they were going to hit the music, and it was going to be the old music or whatever, and I think the roof would have, actually, I don't know if the roof would have came off because that was so long ago at this point, right?
Well, but I'm like... Well, it would have because that music still is so much fucking better than the nonsense she's had for all these years now. When she comes out that shit, my soul dies still. Like, I hear that choir, and then it's just like, what the fuck? Rich, there's nothing to even be excited about. Rich, it's not even the same original one when she got cut off the from that first SmackDown on Fox. It's not even the same one. They've updated it. It's still just bad.
And then I'm just saying how passionate people are still about her, and I'm like, bro, this is woman Seth Rollins to me at this point. This is like.
Well, I can't. She's not a clown, but I see what you mean.
I just don't know what there's left to do with her. I guess she got to be the champion now. All right, cool, do that. But
I mean, in theory, she gets the rest of the wrestle of damage control, and they're all talented, so they can have some really good matches. But she's gonna have to link up with some people at some point, I imagine, or whatever. Who knows?
People love her. She was in the Horsewomen for years, and they love her, and she carried the industry in the pandemic.
I have no defense for this. Rich, at one point, this is my favorite wrestler in the world.
Yeah,
I have no comebacks for this,
bro. This was
I cannot defend against your assault.
I don't mean it to do that, but it's I saw EO in the ring. I was like, this is a different level. EO is clearly, whatever it is. Bailey is at a different point in her career now.
Right.
And God bless her. She still do her thing or whatever. She's still over with this crowd. And,
you know what's crazy?
I'll just get out of the way on that.
But you know what's crazy? I think Bailey is still more athletic than Becky, but Becky's a better wrestler.
Yeah. More big match experience too, I think.
That's true. That's absolutely true at this point.
At this point.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but from there, main event.
The WWE Universal Title Bloodline Rules match. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Cody comes down to the ring with Brandy. He has a fucking Triple H tribute Nazi skull head over his over his head. I don't know what the fuck you call it.
He came out dressed like the nigga that you fight after you defeated the entire Ku Klux Klan and all the Nazis. You will face the last one, the last Avenger, and it's him.
So you don't know this, but Captain America, his biggest comic book villain nemesis is Red Skull, and is literally a Nazi with a red skull. He has no face. He's just a skull and it's red, right? Cody was dressed as White Skull. Right? whatever, man. Whatever. Came out there. Whatever. So then Roman comes out. It was a choir this time. It was a choir singing the song down.
Performing his entrance music.
Did you count the time
really
it took him to get down to the ring for his entrance?
This wasn't too long at all, actually.
Was it shorter than the night before?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know how. That's crazy. So,
I don't think he did all the stage posing.
Okay. So, match starts, and at the first in this match, I'm just like, I'm in my phone. I'm like, man, get to the bullshit. And it's funny because I'm watching. I'm not paying attention. I'm looking at all the other stuff. I'm looking at Twitter and everything. And then all of a sudden the match starts getting good, and I put down the phone, and then they start actually legitimately cooking. They start having what felt like they were trying to have an all-time classic match in the main event of WrestleMania from a traditional standpoint. They were trying to have an all-time professional classic pro wrestling main event title match on the biggest show of the year. And I was like, okay, so, I know the bullshit's coming, but I appreciate the effort they give by they're trying to give you something for everybody. So, and it was this also is very frustrating because I haven't seen Roman Reigns wrestle this well in 2 years.
Yeah. The first 20 minutes of this match, it's these guys have great chemistry with each other. They are willing to, put it on the line. They were working extremely hard. They were coming up with great sequences. I was into it the first, whatever, you mentioned, first, was it 20 minutes or
first 2/3 of the match?
Yeah, before all the Royal Rumble started.
Yeah, it basically was a Royal Rumble. So, and look, taste your taste, but basically what from this point happened, basically turned into that clip they show every other month from the Attitude Era where Kane runs out, Austin runs out, The Rock runs out, and they're all basically hitting one move on each other, and then the next person replaces them and gets them out of the ring by hitting another move, right? It turned into that at the end of this. So, they start kicking out of each other's finishes. They steal each other's finishers. They kick out. The crowd's buying all of it. I'm like, no. Ain't no kicking out until everybody runs in, brother. So Cody ends up getting up Roman for another crossroads, and then out comes Jimmy, super kicks your boy, or super kicks Cody. Then out comes the Yeet Man, Jey Uso. They fight up the ramp. The Usos fight up the ramp. And then Jay spears Jimmy or double legs him, and they go fly from the top of the ramp, the WrestleMania ramp that's 15, 20 feet fucking high in the air, and they crash through two sets of tables that are stacked side by side, not on top of each other. I thought that, bro, I was like, oh my God, I was horrified. I was like, are they okay? Are we ever going to get confirmation they're okay? And the only confirmation I got was when Jay showed up at the end of the match. So I don't know if Jimmy's dead or not, but I hope he's okay.
That spear and might as well just had disappeared into the ether.
Bro, and they only hit one of them tables.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So, I think I forgot. I think Cody got the advantage again. He goes up for two consecutive crossroads. Gets Roman up for a third. Now all of a sudden I'm like, this is great. This is to play into what happened last year, before Sokoa came out. So all of a sudden after the third one, I see Cody looking around like, all right, where's the fuck shit? Why he has Roman in the set up for the crossroads for the third time? He looks around. And then all of a sudden, while he's looking around, Sokoa in his fucking line of sight hits him with a spike. And I was like, you were just looking for him. How do you still get hit with this shit? Nigga!
How did you not see this?
Not only how do you not see it, you were looking for it and it still got you. Do you remember the Will Smith Ali movie?
Yes.
Where he loses the first, where obviously Ali loses the first, not Larry Holmes, my God, Smoking Joe Frazier match.
Yeah.
When he gets dropped with the hook, and like they do the voiceover where like Muhammad Ali's too tired to move from the hook. He's like, move out the way. And he gets caught with it. It was like, where is he? I gotta move. Oh, fuck, I can't move. Spike. Get spiked. Sikoa yells at Roman, let's finish it. They hit the combo spike spear. And Cody kicked out. And in my mind, I was like, here comes the Gargano mode.
Bro, when he kicked out of the combo spear and the spike thing, I was like, oh, they're like throwing all the rules out. Like they're throwing everything out now. They like this nigga's about to kick out of everything.
I knew he was gonna kick out because like Rock ain't showed up. I was like, nah, The Rock gotta show up in this. He's kicking out. So
right.
But for me, it was like when he kicked out, I was like, oh, he's kicking out everything and he's winning because they just gave him the like. There's no fucking way you should lose after kicking out some shit like that. So, out comes John Cena. Out comes John Cena. He lays out Sikoa, gets him out the ring, AAs him through the table, through the Spanish announce table. Rock's music hits.
John Cena ran to the ring real ginger.
Yeah, well, he always kind of did.
I think this is a good time to bring up Twitter.
David Dennis shit, yeah. So David Dennis says that Cody versus Roman Reigns WrestleMania 40 is the most anticipated WrestleMania match ever, which is just ridiculous. Like this match ain't the most anticipated. Every single Rock Austin match is more anticipated, right? But let's forget that part. Like I was like, bro, do you not know what the buy rate was for, or what the gate was for the first like Rock and Cena match was, and they built it for a year?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So I put up the post for WrestleMania 28. Keep in mind, Dave Dennis has like 43,000 followers. I put up the post, and I was like, with eye rolls, whatever else. He quote tweets that and says, "Bye, LOL, bye." I didn't respond back to him. So I keep looking for like people to, like his, and because he dunked on me because he's more popular than me. I'm like, okay, I'll wait for it. I don't know. I haven't checked back, but like after a certain number of hours, it was still at 4 with his 4 likes with his 40-some thousand followers. I was like, oh, that's not good for him. So yeah. So then next thing I know, I sent the thing to you because obviously we both we follow David Dennis, both of them, because obviously like his the things he talks about on Twitter and everything and what he writes. And you decided to say like 1.2 million buys and the old pay-per-view price would disagree. I think how many likes you end up getting on that one?
Like over 50 at least.
Now, do you have 43,000 followers, Rich?
No, I have like 3,000 something.
Okay.
I think.
You didn't have to tell me that. You didn't be like, no, I don't. All right, L. Thank you, David Dennis. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
it's just part of everything. The most recent is the greatest thing ever. That's all it says.
Right.
And then Rock vs. Cena broke out in the middle of this match and like got like a giant reaction.
It got the biggest reaction outside of the Undertaker gun going off.
So I was like, double down on this.
Yeah. So Rock comes down. Rock is out there cussing up a storm. Rock got the white Versace on after the night before he had the black Versace on, or whatever, Versace, whatever you want to call it. And they get in the ring together. They go face to face. The crowd's losing their mind so much that they do the Hogan and Rock stare at the size and the energy of the crowd before they do their thing. Cena does "You Can't See Me." Rock ducks underneath it and gets from rock bottom. Gets Cena the fuck out of there. So then all of a sudden, the Shield music hits, and for me, I was like, Seth on his bad knee for to bring his ass out here. Apparently, other people thought that Dean Ambrose / John Moxley was gonna show up. I was like, that never crossed my mind. Did that ever cross your mind, Rich?
Bro. They live in a fantasy world, bro. Right. I was more confused at the camera angle. I was like, why won't they show where Seth is? That's where I was like, what the fuck? So we just went from like one of the biggest pops in WWE history for seeing Rock and Cena in the ring together. That Shield music hits, it pops. And then the crowd's waiting
looking in the crowd for like the traditional, entrance where they would come, down. You can see them coming down from the hard camera. Never see it. Next thing you know, Rock looking around for where they used to come out, where she used to come out. All of a sudden, the camera angle different. Camera is on the apron, and you see Roman roll back into the ring. Also, want to point out when Rock walked down to that ring to go face with John Cena, he brought past Roman Reigns, like not like he wasn't a champion, not like that wasn't his cousin, like he was a bum asking for change. He didn't stop, he didn't look down, he kept it moving up them stairs. Anyway, back to lecture at hand. Roman rolls back into the ring, and also they pan back out to the hard cam, and he just runs back in. I don't know how you even saw him, and just punches out with Superman punch Seth with a chair while he's wearing the Shield gear. I fucking die laughing. I was like, this fucking geek, he showed up and got laid out immediately. He didn't get a pop when he appeared. He just, it's Seth. We thought it was going to be Dean Ambrose. That's what the crowd thought.
Yeah, like the crowd thought that. He got fucking destroyed again. The first of 2 times in this match, he is destroyed. I fucking howled. I loved it.
I fucking died. I was like, this isn't this. I tweeted out, Seth is the bum of the decade.
Yes.
Bro, I've never seen somebody have, in kayfabe, a worse WrestleMania weekend. Or WrestleMania week, whatever you want to call it. Never.
You get your ass whooped in one main event, lose.
He got his ass whooped. They lost the first main event because he was a wink link, because he had the bad knee, because he got chop blocked by Roman.
Like that man got completely physically removed from the match via the barricade.
Yes.
Drops his belt the next day. Cries
as another motherfucker cashes in on the person that beat him.
Then he gets destroyed in the main event twice.
And he was a person that was running in. He ran out there to...
He let Miles down.
He ran out there and actually like landed no offense. For a run out, he landed no offense. He got laid out twice.
Could they have just sent anybody out there?
Rich, Triple H be calling this shit the showcase of the immortals. They just showed that man is a man. He is skin, flesh, and blood.
That's great.
So he gets laid out, which is hilarious because as he gets laid out, Roman then after he gets the rush of adrenaline to roll back in the ring and lay out Seth while Rock was blindsided and didn't even see him coming. Roman just rolls back out the ring on the other side and faints again. So then Rock is looking around like, all right, who's next? No. He pulls off the Mama Rose belt again, and he goes to go strike Cody. And then the Undertaker gong hits, lights go out. I start howling laughing because Undertaker been on this ring for how fucking long now?
Bro, he had to call his own ass running to the crowd or some shit.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw that he actually appeared from whatever else. That's why he didn't wear the Undertaker guard, because he wanted to be conspicuous with the security detail of 1,000 people, of a dozen people. Anyway,
Frankie.
So camera, lights go out, lights come back on. Undertaker's behind Rock. Rock's facing the entrance ramp. They have the camera facing towards Rock and Undertaker. Rock looking around like, where the fuck is he? Rock didn't realize that Undertaker's behind, or is probably come from behind him. He turns around. Rock is shocked. You see Rock's face, surprised. They're like, oh my God, he snuck up on me. He got me. I'm dead to rights. Rock didn't go to
I ain't seen this motherfucker in years.
Undertaker, or Rock went to raise that belt to go hit Undertaker. Undertaker said, nah, boy. I do the whooping. He gives him the choke slam, and then he looks around, and the lights go out, and then Undertaker's into the vapors. Never to be seen from again.
Because, I feel like The Rock and Undertaker got a lot in common these days. So.
Yeah, especially after that whole thing about cancel culture. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Look,
I was like, what is the Undertaker doing here, bro? At this point, I was ready for Bruno Sammartino to wake up out the grave and come out.
So when Rock showed up and took out Cena, I thought Austin was gonna show up.
Bro, everybody thought Austin was coming.
Right, but when Undertaker shows up, I was like, oh yeah, he took his yard, so fuck him. Whatever.
Bro, I never thought of that at all.
I thought of that because it's like it also played for me. It also played into the part where like before we got into the part where like we still don't have the answer for why the fuck Cody offered Rock his title shot at WrestleMania after winning the Rumble. Cody said the whole thing about like I took counsel from a number of people, and like I'm sure Cody today basically said like I took the counsel of The Rock, Undertaker, John Cena, as the wise men that gave he just took advice from or whatever else, and then ultimately he listened to Rock for a second and whatever. Like I'm assuming that's what he probably will say in post or whatever else. But like in my mind, I'm like, okay, that's okay. Those people he talked to, and then he listened to Rock for one night, and he's like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I giving my Royal match to this fucking guy? Whatever. Anyway, so or that's what he'll say post fact after they retconned it. You know what I mean? So then.
House of Torture mode at this point. There has been like we've lost a plot completely in this match.
I'm just like, bro, they're just running out nonsense to pop the crowd. It's smoke and mirrors. It's all smoke and mirrors.
They lowered the
WrestleMania, the WWE main event style has now went into overdrive. Nonsense is happening, and
they lowered the rim. They lowered the rim. Like these guys already they had it going, and then they were like, they robbed these guys of greatness, I think.
I disagree, man. Like I thought the wrestling was great, and if you want to say then it turned into nonsense, I won't disagree with you. I agree with you. I feel like they brought the match down as far as what I want out of pro wrestling. However, people love this segment of the match the most, more than anything, more than the wrestling.
We are cut differently.
I know. But here's the thing for me. It was similar to the Sting and Triple H WrestleMania 31 match where like all the run-ins are happening and I'm just like, this is fucking hilarious. I'm popping because it's hilarious. It makes no fucking sense what's going on, but like I'm enjoying it. At no point was I like, I'm not enjoying myself while all this nonsense is happening. I was thoroughly enjoying this nonsense. So, then Seth and Cody are back in the ring. There is the steel chair. There is the Mama Rhodes belt. And there's a choice to be made by Roman Reigns for what he wants to do. He can, put away Cody because he's dead to rights. Or he can, get vengeance on Seth, turning on him in 2014 in the summer, even though they've had a bunch of matches since then. So, in a feud since then. So, he grabs a chair because he's a dumbass. And he lays into Seth and wears him out with a chair. Another L for Seth. And then Cody then takes advantage and he starts the rolling three crossroads and finally gets the third one and then he gets the win. 1, 2, 3. New champion. People are over the moon for this finish. Story, the finish was played off of last year's finish where he should have hit the third one. And I thought this was a great match. Even though like I didn't love them going to the nonsense with the run-ins left and right and smoke and mirrors, but like that's Cody, that's Roman, that's WWE.
1,300-day world champion. They had to go through an Avengers War Game ending to beat them. For me, I would feel robbed if Kenny Omega beat Kazuchika Okada and there were like 90 niggas in it. I thought it was them lowering the rim.
There is no such thing as a blood rules match in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So
bloodline rules. Yeah, it's just House of Torture. That's what it is.
No, but they don't be having those are just regular rules matches that they turned into that nonsense. This was a no DQ match.
This was like a mini Royal Rumble inside this shit. I thought these guys didn't need it, but they did it. Cody beats him. He's finally the champion. The story is finished. I gotta say, James, We always said he needed to be WWE to reach the top, and that's what happened.
Yep. And I'm glad for him, and he need to stay his ass over there.
Yep. Like that shit, wasn't for him. And AEW wasn't the audience. I think the audience saw through a lot of the more insincere parts of his act. Goes to WWE, rolls out pretty much, from off the rip, and was like, I can outwork most of this roster here just because of how he carries himself, his promos, and kind of the new toy smell coming from AEW. And then, he hits the ground running and is like, I want the spot. And he's 38 years old now. He's older than anyone they've ever strapped it to. Like, hey, man, this is yours.
Hey, and it don't matter.
What up?
And I don't think it matters that he's 38.
Yeah, it seems like, all right, could they have a 2 or 3 year from here, kind of run with him? They could.
They could. But do you think they're actually going to have an ace run with him?
Yeah.
I don't. I think he's going to be like Dusty and have a short short babyface title runs.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna Triple H don't be believing in short shit, but I don't know. He has
not for look for heels. Yes, for babyface he likes them short runs. Sami Zayn, was Neville in the only long babyface NXT champion when NXT mattered.
Finn Balor had that bitch for quite a minute.
Was it longer than 8 months?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But
I'm just saying, he had Gargano chase that bitch for 2 years, and then he lost that shit in 3 months.
Yeah, I think he was getting broke up though. But Cody, he rolled out and was like, "Yo, no one on this roster can really fucking compete with me." And I'm pressuring all them. They beat all themselves to hell, and he jumped at a perfect time.
Yep.
To essentially end up with this shit now. Roman Reigns, I guess we should talk about his title reign.
Okay.
Massively overrated, complete fabrication of the company, artificially extending it far past points of where he could have lost it. I'm looking for the all-time classic matches. I don't see them. I'm looking for the all-time great work in these matches. Rarely seen. I'm looking for the trail of people that
got over.
I'm seeing people in lower positions now. Cody Rhodes. Can you argue he got over? I think Cody was. No matter who the champion was, Cody was going in there with finish the story. It didn't necessarily have to be Roman. He had the belt for a long time. He cut a lot of backstage promos. He did something that actually saved his career with the whole thing as far as him flopping as a babyface for years and years and years and years. He got something that actually connected with the WWE audience, but I thought it was still just kind of the most basic shit that you could really put together for. I think The Rock totally swallowed him up. I think Cody, since he's come in, is kind of leapfrogged him even without the title. So imagine with the title, he's got to, I think, decide if he still wants to do this. I think he is. I don't see really any reason for him to walk away. He's probably still making tons of money.
Especially when he only has to wrestle 8 times a year or whatever the fuck.
Right. And, as far as the title reign, it's much like many WWE things. They will tell you how great it is, but if you start looking for yourself, you're going to start finding inconsistencies. But with Cody Rhodes, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't going to ever happen.
Hold on, I don't get to utilize that title reign?
Oh, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, it went, 3.5 years?
Yeah.
Went 3.5 years. It overstayed his welcome by 2. It stopped being good. It stopped being worth anything they actually want to consistently check for after about after the last year. And so it went 2.5. Like it should have ended last year. Then it carried on for another year. It got progressively worse over after each defense. Luckily, Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn sparked life back into it after it was stale as shit at the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, and that literally carried it for another year. But it was on life support. And they was out there, and they went out there and had Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in SummerSlam, and it stunk the joint out. And then they had a 4-way for Royal Rumble.
Right. That's how we knew they were scrambling. Multi-man matches and, shit like that. Like, they beat Kevin Owens challenging for the belt 5 times within a single reign and shit. Bro, he should never be the champion again.
Not as a heel. Like, I think he'll be champion again, and I think he'll be Rock for it. But now's the time for them to move him over, like do the bloodline stuff and have Rock the final boss be the head, take the head of the table from Roman Reigns, have Roman try to get his vengeance and seek redemption over next year. And move on, because there's nothing left as a heel and as held at the table with Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso. It's done. It's cooked.
Yeah. But yeah, Cody, he did the job last year. Like I said, last year, like they were not letting the man walk in from AEW. Just get it. They were going to beat him first. And now, he paid his due. And then when I was watching him in the post-match, with all the people in the ring, and they were doing a lot of fucking extra shit at the end. This was another Paul Levesque ball washing hour here. That if Triple H demanded or Cody demanded he come out,
bro. They brought out Bruce Pritchard, and I'm sorry, bro. Bruce Pritchard is so lucky he didn't get booed because they damn sure weren't cheering him.
Yeah, man. Like
even the belt mutants weren't cheering that man. That's how you know.
Sue Williams mentioned that one day they're gonna have to scrub all this shit. Likely,
bro. There's no speculation, right? Allegedly, this is just James Boyd's opinion. These are not facts. In my opinion, there's no way in fuck Bruce Pritchard didn't know about this shit that has been going on all these years. Why else would he come back? Why else would Vince want him back? Is a loyal soldier, right? This motherfucker brought a gun to work and got fired, and then they brought him back. Stephanie, in court papers, they say she knew. Triple H, Paul is mentioned. We don't know which Paul that is, but there's a great chance it's Paul Levesque, and Nick Khan. And Nick is damn sure Nick Khan.
Yeah.
So
Nick is covered off number one, literally.
So these are all co-defendants, all of them. More likely than not.
Cody Rhodes is, if I was doing this show on the video, if you were seeing a clip of this, you would see in the background you would have Cody Rhodes shaking hands with Nick Khan. That would be my background. So like, there's a bunch of this shit at the end. Before I got sidetracked, the good portion of this stuff, it was like, this is where this guy fucking belonged. This is where he came from.
Yep.
He came all the way up the ladder or whatever here or whatever. AEW was not his home. Like, it was like something that he helped get off the ground. But like, ultimately, like, they didn't see, or Tony didn't see him that way. And was that a mistake?
And the fan base at AEW didn't see him that way either.
Yeah. Like, he was over at the beginning, but like, it was never going to last because he was never going to be the type of forward thinker and wrestler that he needed to be in that company.
And he hot shotted a bunch of shit and burned out his welcome as a babyface. Yeah. He could have stayed if he wanted to turn heel, but didn't want to turn heel.
Yeah. So he made the best decision. I think we said at the time, like,
yep.
Maybe he'll go over there, and who knew the editing of WWE would be so valuable for him?
Yeah. I mean, I think also, didn't we both say when he came over, like, is he going to be, like, we both thought he was going to be their top babyface, didn't we?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Like, who's going to be in front of him? Seth Rollins? I think that's what our joke was at the time. And sure enough, Jesus Christ, it's even worse now than it was then.
Yeah.
So I will say this. I think he should have been champion last year, but I will say they deserve credit for the part where, like, the part where, like, this feels earned is that he got in there, he failed, and he came back and got it, and the chase continued, and the chase turned into a year-long chase or more, or 15-month chase. Like we talked about it when Julia won the red belt finally in Stardom, where it's like you brought somebody in at the end of 2019, and then you make them the top champion and the biggest show of your year in the year of 2022. Like, that takes a lot of restraint, and that is unheard of restraint that we've ever seen out of a Vince McMahon promotion. And, like, thank God Vince is fucking gone, because who knows what the fuck would have happened, right? Like, there are so many circumstances that changed all of this over the years that have nothing to do with Cody, nothing to do with his story, nothing to do with Roman Reigns necessarily, that made all of this possible, to where, like, you end up getting, this Sunday show is one of the best WrestleManias ever. And the part that puts it over the top is, like, you have COVID, you have the writer's strike in Hollywood, you have Rock losing favor in Hollywood, you have Vince McMahon finally getting booted and ousted for good from his sex scandal, whatever else. He's officially out of power. You have Triple H in head of control of creative. You have The Rock being a person that always listens to people. The People's Champ shit is a bit of a shoot.
You have AEW.
Yeah, and you have AEW that allows Cody to go there to be valuable, to have a place to then show his worth to WWE, to want him back as well. You have so many things that, like, just were not in place 6 years ago to allow this moment, to allow this sort of thing to happen. Like, the closest thing you get is, like, Daniel Bryan. This is far more unpredictable than Daniel Bryan was. So you have all these things that come together to where, like, if Vince still in power, if The Rock is an egomaniac, if like, so many, like, if, he easily could have got fucked over. They could have been like, let's roll it over, we're going to, or no, we're not doing that, we're going to do Rock versus Roman this year for 40. So it would be so easy for them to do it. They were planning on doing it. And then Rock came in and was like, hey, crowd ain't with this. Y'all already got a story in place. I can do Rock and Roman next year. And I'm going to do tag match with Cody. And, like, I'm going to do the match with Cody. Because I get to beat Cody, and I get to do the match with Cody.
Oh, that's so funny. I think The Rock is hilarious.
So, yeah, man, like, so many things could have went wrong for Cody and all of this. And ultimately, from day one, he showed up and he was their number one babyface. At WrestleMania 38, he was their number one babyface when he showed up.
Yeah.
And for him to finally get crowned, for him to have the restraint to not put it on, to finally put it on him here, this is, you can argue they passed the peak. I mean, they got something very close to the peak last night. I can't argue they didn't. So this was, I'm not saying Triple H is some master booker. I obviously think he's still a better booker when he's NXT. But as far as you take care of the main things in your wrestling promotion, you're on your shit. You are a good booker when you are on your shit and your most important thing. Last night, look, man, I don't think I've enjoyed a WWE show that much and a crowning moment that much since 2019. So, hope more of this continues. I hope we can talk about more shows like WrestleMania Night 2, or whatever else. And, yeah, man, like, I'm looking forward to seeing, a less shitty WWE, because I've said, Rich has always, jeered at me and all this kind of stuff, and it's earned. I've always said this. They can always unfuck themselves. And last night, they unfucked themselves. So, we'll see what it looks like for the future. But they have the belt on the right person right now. They absolutely do.
Belt's on the right person. I refuse to trust these niggas.
Fair enough. Because they earned it.
Niggas don't change their stripes. I fundamentally disagree with this company.
Rich,
yeah.
Rich, don't even mention that part. Don't even mention that part. These, even if they have Triple H and everyone, they got the right people in place. These people might be right for the job, but they might have to go because they implicated. It don't matter. Yeah. It don't matter if they're right people for the job. They might have to go just because they have to go because they knew shit they should have exposed.
Yep.
So yeah, it don't matter if they're the right people. They was doing dirt, so they might have to go. So we'll see.
The glazing was just insane this week. Like the Samantha Irvin stuff, all throughout this show. And I'm like, man, I get it, bro. I see her. I understand.
I don't get the amount of. She's an attractive woman. I don't think like she's all of a sudden like the greatest ring announcer ever. Also, who gives a fuck?
Like, it's like I feel like it's been some like corporately, or it's like some lab creation of like just this wave of like, yo, this is like the greatest ring announcer of all time.
Lillian Garcia never got this kind of love.
Right. I'm just like, all right, like
I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying like I don't remember Lillian being necessarily ugly either. So like I don't know what it is about her that makes people like react to her that way, other than like, oh, it's a pretty biracial. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Like, I'm sorry, man. Like Howard Finkel is like, no, this is not the same. Like Howard Finkel would not have like started crying in the biggest match in the business, biggest match of this generation. Time you would announce the finish, and I'm not banging on her, for any reason, but like she started crying during the announcement, and some people liked it or whatever. But like, you gotta nail that.
I didn't care. I like, who gives a shit? Like, look, that crowd was so loud. That crowd was so loud and so happy. It is like, I didn't even know that there was a ring announcement. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I think like just for, like I always remember the Howard Finkel, oh no, like, and it was like always this, epic thing or whatever. I'm like, that guy's like undefeated, a fucking pro or whatever, and I don't know, like just throwing him out like in seemingly like this, how can I say this? The rush for the newest thing to be the best thing, and also everything else.
Are people actually doing that? You actually care about their opinion, though?
Oh, it's unavoidable. like you just see it whether you want their opinion or not.
Okay, fair enough.
But I'm like, am I missing something? I'm like, everyone's just going crazy. Like, oh, I just love the Samantha Irvin. I'm like, what's the difference between her and JoJo Offerman?
I don't know. I don't think I'm missing anything. I just think that like, who cares? It's an attractive lady doing the calls. They've done that for years in WWE.
We'll switch her out and find another one. Like this is how they operate.
Remember when Brandy was ring announcer?
Yes. They do the same thing with the backstage people. Like, remember when Kathy Kelly got fired? People were acting like someone died and all that. And I was just like, that. I was like, she's a zombie bot. Like, they'll get another one. I don't know. Maybe they just grow connections with these people or something.
Maybe it's because it's past something. Like, it's a person I see all the time, so therefore I've made some attached to this person.
Yeah,
I'm just used to this person. Right. Like, it's the same thing. Like, because honestly, like, bro, the way people talk about Michael Cole is like, bro, Michael Cole is not a great announcer.
Bro, Justin Roberts could get hit by a bus tomorrow. They will bring somebody. I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, I don't. So I just thought I'd bring that up.
Like, my whole thing is like, look, there are a number of like this. It's good that you found someone that's good at this. It is not some job that is like irreplaceable. Even if you have Michael Buffer, he's replaceable.
Bro, the glazing is out of control. And then Michael Buffer tweeted about it, I think.
Michael Buffer tweeted about it?
Yes, that's why I said you can't avoid this shit. Like, and then like Triple H like retweeted it, and then it was like, hey, if you were,
Triple H going to retweet it because it's part of his propaganda machine. That's fine.
I'm like, I'm like, all right, man. Like, I'm missing something here. You're like, I don't
think you're missing nothing. I just like she's she's an attractive woman, and
we know what it is,
and that's more or less the end of it.
Like,
she's a very attractive woman, and she's good at her job. The end. There's nothing else to it.
Like, I get it.
All she does is announce matches. What the fuck else is there to care about?
Bro, I don't know.
Like, not even what else is there to care about. What is there to care about?
Bro, like, just getting messages. Oh, I just can't. Man, I just love it. Like, I'm like, all right. Cool. Can we bring the match out, please? Yeah. Can we ring the bell? Fuck.
No. Can we bring the match out quickly? Can we get Randy Orton and The Undertaker and Roman Reigns and The Rock to bring their ass down to the ring expeditiously?
Yeah.
With some expedience, please. But I will say this, like, I would say right now, if I was to do moments of the year in pro wrestling, I would say Cody winning the title and Sting retiring with the win. I would say those would be the two biggest moments in wrestling so far this year.
More to come.
Yeah, I think so.
But we should probably wrap it up.
Yep. Thanks for listening, y'all. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're listening to this. Before that, if you're watching from the stream, go to the podcast and go to the Red Circle, and you could donate to the show there from the Red Circle link. And be sure to listen to the other shows on network besides One Nation Radio. That would be Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, Imp's WWE Adventure, which I'm sure will be fun this week. Russell Art with Chris Things, Tunnel Talk, and the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast. Also, as you mentioned earlier in the show, be sure to check out Trish and Sarah's podcast on the CM Punk, where they go line by line on this shit and just tear him apart. So check that out. But that's the end of the show, y'all. Thanks for listening.
Peace.